Mentality is what keeps us together.
Hey, this is Saya.
I'm Carol.
It's Tiffany.
It's Nicole, and this is what keeps us together.
Basically the group chat in your head.
Living rent free.
Hey. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.
That's it. That's it. Welcome back, y'all. Welcome back.
Yes, and we are nearing the end of the year. So
2022, almost gone.
Can y'all? I feel like it was just July.
I'm about to say, but when it hit 2022, I was like, oh, okay, we're going to be in here. No, all right, we're already out.
No.
Yeah.
Oh, and we're back in our house. Sorry, my house instead of at the line. Apologies to our YouTube viewers.
No apologies. I'm feeling this nice, comfortable vibe, right?
Look,
This cheer.
way to end the year in a comfy setting.
yeah, especially since our topic is like year-end review. So I feel like this is like a full circle moment.
Okay.
I like it a lot.
So speaking of that, it's end of the year. Spotify just put up the Wrapped. So in that same vein, we're going to do, instead of Song of the Week, I want to hear you guys' top 3 or 5, if you're Nicole, songs for the year.
Whatever.
So
y'all got 5 too.
So
Everybody
Nicole,
got
I mean, I
5.
could get 5.
I mean, we do have 5, but Nicole, I know you're excited about it. So why don't you give us you refused to just do 3.
Yeah.
I mean, if they're listed, they need to be
Okay, go ahead.
all
go ahead.
spoken for.
All right, go ahead.
Let us know. Let the people know.
Why do y'all want me to start?
We want to know what you listen to.
Are you not ready?
Anyway,
You're not
so
ready?
my top tracks are Say So, Whipped Cream by Ari, right? Yeah.
Yes.
I Want You Around. I do bad with people's names. I just know the song. I Want You Around, Slow Down by Skip Marley, and Let It Burn by Jasmine Sullivan.
Oh, Let It Burn is on your. Wow.
Yeah.
Throwback.
That is my road trip song.
Is it?
Mm-hmm. Every time I drive.
What was the first song?
Say So by PJ Morton.
Oh, okay.
You know, if you love me, just say so.
Nope.
I'm not familiar, but I know
Me either.
PJ Morton.
Your number one listen to
You don't know who PJ Morton is?
And I said, I'm
Yeah.
familiar with PJ Morton. I'm not familiar with that song.
Yeah, it's the one that he sings with, is it JoJo or Yeba? JoJo. Yeah.
Oh,
Nope.
cute.
All
Added to my
right.
list.
So,
You know what? I'm sick of these
Send me
heifers.
a picture so I can go and listen to it
Sick
later.
of these heifers.
We should-
They don't know what good music. Y'all don't know what sound effects are.
We should do a What Keeps Us Together playlist.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Yeah, of all of our top
Yeah,
songs.
love
mine is
that.
gonna be real chill.
Yeah,
I know.
I know.
Ratchet, so
Yeah, I was about to say Saya's gonna round us out.
All right, Tiff, do you want to go next there?
Sure. My top song, I was kind of surprised. It's Plastic Off the Sofa. My top 3 is All Mine by Brent Faiyaz, which tracks because I was listening to that song nonstop when we bought our house. Even though it's like, it sounds like it would be fitting, but also it's not fitting. It's very toxic. And then Guess by Lucky Day is like rounding me out.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so mine only isn't Beyonce because I listened to her on Tidal. So I'm going to give you my Spotify list.
Okay.
Outstanding because of my child. I have to listen to it every single time we get in the car, at least once. And then I
love
have No More Bad News by Reaction Band.
Oh.
You know, you knew my year, you know why.
Okay.
And my last one is Hers and Hers. Hours and Hours.
Wait, that's surprising because I feel like that song is like,
Hers.
it's like the beginning of the year.
Hers.
I don't know why. I guess
You must have listened to it a lot.
I did. I don't know why. And then I'll round it out with Rain from Sunday Service Choir.
Oh, so you're not giving 3?
I went ahead and gave 4 because you gave 5.
All right.
Just
All
to
5.
round out I have
fair.
my ratchet to my, bring the Lord back into it at the end.
Look
I
at
feel
you.
like my Spotify rap doesn't do what it's supposed to do anymore because since the pandemic, I feel like I don't listen to music
Oh.
as much.
Mm.
Dolo? Because a lot of times it's Patrick
okay.
putting music
Yeah.
on. You know what I mean?
That's
Gotcha.
fair.
Okay. That's
Because you guys are in the
understandable.
house.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Yeah, I do. I'm going to say I do podcasts more than I do music. Hence the reason why my list first is strictly based on what the kids and I listen to for work. So the first 3 on mine were all from Encanto. So I'm not going to say that.
Is Bruno the first one?
Yes,
Don't talk about
it
Bruno.
is.
No.
And I'm like, yeah, this is not a true representation of me. So let's go
Okay,
to it.
so
Well, actually,
Yeah.
it is because I think the first podcast of the year, you were talking about how much you love that Strong song.
Oh.
It is because we played it a lot. We played.
Hence your top.
Yes,
So,
we played
so
that.
it is a
then the Strong.
representation of you.
Well, Bruno's not my first song. My
Okay.
first song would be
Okay.
the strong.
Oh,
Pressure.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
Pressure.
That song.
That song
It's
goes.
right here.
Yeah, that one's
Are
good.
y'all okay?
Not to be confused with the Ari Lennox pressure, but
Yeah,
Yes.
no. Even though that song, look, Pressure,
I'm concerned.
get it.
In the music video.
Saya, what are your songs?
Okay,
Sorry, go
so
ahead.
once I got through all the songs that the kids and I listen to all the time,
Not your kids.
that I
said-
nanny.
Oh.
Okay.
I thought you said the kids.
Okay, well, that's
did,
not,
but
I don't
it's-
know if people. It's their
It's
first
fair.
time.
It's fair. It's fair.
Yeah.
Fair.
Okay, so then I have number one is "Wake Up in the Sky," Gucci Mane, Bruno Mars, Kodak Black. Ooh, that song.
Oh yeah,
It's
you
my
were
driving.
going ham about that
Yes,
song.
that's my driving song. It's my flying song. Like it's my song. I
That's a
love
good
that
one.
song.
That's a good one.
Yes. Next is "Pimps" by 2 Chainz.
That track.
It does.
And last
Is that song even new?
No, not at all.
Just buy it all day.
I love it.
It's such a great
You know, we
song.
can always count on you.
Yes, for sure. And to round it out, although I think it might be skewed because I want to make the kids listen to this one now, but whatever. "Oh How Precious" by Kathy Taylor. It's at the end she just really just says Jesus like
Oh,
1,000 times in a row. It's a great song. But the kids we be jamming to that one.
I don't
so.
know that one either.
yeah.
It's one actually I found with I was playing a random playlist with Digging Bush, and I was helping get her ready in the morning, and we would both that was our jam. So
Aw,
it's
I love
it's
that.
nice.
That
Yeah,
is sweet.
it's good song.
Yeah, we are going to make a playlist. That would be fun.
It would be.
I
Okay.
think so too. Let us know what you guys think if we should drop a playlist.
Or if there's songs that we may not have listed that y'all think we should listen to.
I mean, some Summer Walker is gonna have to go on there.
Yeah.
Yeah, so if I scroll down a little bit farther in my list, it gets really crazy.
Yeah. Mine
Yeah.
is probably filled with Anita Baker because I listen to her a lot. That and Lettucey.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, guys. So this week, our topic is we're just going to reflect and summarize our years and set some intentions for next year.
2023?
Since we're rounding out the year.
Which sounds
so-
crazy.
Yeah.
I still
It
feel like
does.
1990s was like
We're just around the corner, or
yeah, like it wasn't.
The
30?
1990?
Yeah, like it wasn't like does it like 30 years
What
ago?
other 90s was shit
I
I'm
don't
talking
know,
about?
it's like-
The 2090s? What?
Well, sometimes when I think about
1990 does
like
not feel like around the corner to me.
When I feel
We were
like-
3.
I know, but when I listen to like
I was
when I hear like this is from the early 2000s, I don't feel like I was 2 whole decades ago.
Right.
It still like doesn't strike like the math doesn't math,
Okay.
even though it maths. You know what I mean?
Okay, fair.
That's fair.
All right.
It's a great time anyway. So I can
Yeah, so back to this year. 2022.
ended it already. Look at us.
Yes. All right. So I want to hear how you guys began your year and how would you like to end your year?
Like, what are the
Oh.
options for how I'm ending it? Like,
Right.
if I say millionaire, what's gonna happen?
If it happens, it happens. I ain't mad at
I
it.
mean, I'm not God, so I really can't answer that for you. But you put out there whatever you want.
I mean, that's how I'd like to end it.
Yeah,
Is
I
it
would like to
realistic? I don't know.
hit the
Okay.
lottery.
Me too, but I never play it.
Well, I will say, I'll start off. Mine, I think, definitely was in a place of instability. The pandemic was rough for me. So I entered into 2022. Not really sure job wise what that was going to look like, what that bank account was going to look like, what the bills was going to be looking like. And ending it now, stability is the only word I can think of when asked that question. And that's a place I hadn't been in a couple of years. So it feels nice.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like just being in a place where I'm like, oh, bills taken care of. Check. All right.
Hallelujah.
Cool. Okay. Like just being, and you don't realize until, I mean, some of us who probably listen, the pandemic might have been rough for a lot of people. I'm sure I'm probably not alone. So to be in a place of being like, oh, I have like breathing room. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like that's something where when you ask that question, that's the first thing I thought of. Like instability and stability has been kind of the wave that I rode
Yeah.
this year. So that's where I'm.
I love that for you.
Yeah, I would have to probably say the same, except for it's like, I guess it's different. It's different, meaning that like, thank the Lord I had like job security. That wasn't a thing. So the epidemic that's going on with COVID-19 and other things didn't necessarily impact me in that area, which I'm super grateful for. But just, you know, personal instability, like financial instability, but not even knowing, you know what I'm saying? It's like when there's things happening that are a little bit outside of your control, and not that I have to have control over things. I just, when things don't necessarily fall solely on you, you don't, and there's other people involved, you don't know that there's instability until you're told or until the cookie starts to fall. So being kind of like in the same situation, but in a different capacity, but now being way more stable in a way. And that makes me feel very comfortable. However, there's still like catches to it. Of course, you know, there's always, other things that arise, but you know, this year's been,
Yeah.
Feel you.
Yeah. I don't know. I feel like this year has been like wild, like in the best sense. I feel kind of like bad saying that. But like, I mean,
we are celebrating all wins and accomplishments.
I just like this year, like I'm thinking about like how it started off, and we were like literally on our honeymoon in Thailand in January, which feels like it was like years ago at this juncture. But I mean, like even just like buying our home, it wasn't something that we were like thought was going to materialize this year. And like the way that the rest of the year has gone, like in a macro sense, like economically, it's like, first of all, the only way that we bought our house was God, but like the way that transpired, and like knowing like what it would be like right now, trying to look for a home with like everything that's going on, just doesn't even seem feasible. So like, it just is like crazy. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it just is like, I wake up and I'm just like, wow, I can't believe we live here. And still no one has knocked on our door and told us, no, we made a terrible mistake, you have to leave. So that is great. I think how I want to go into like how I want to end this year is just like very like, I don't know, I'm feeling kind of like reflective. I think I'm feeling like a lot of like gratitude and just like wanting to sit my ass down next year. I feel like I did a lot this year, and I just like really want to like just like
coast,
not coast, but I just like between changing jobs, getting this house, like having our 1 year anniversary, like I'm just like, I'm down to just like embrace the new normal and like, you know, just like get to like what that newness, like what new like normal feels like. I still feel like it's a lot of like growing and learning and all of that. And I'm just like ready to be like, okay, like I know what to do, because I'm still feeling like it's a lot of like, what do I do?
Right. No, I would agree with that. I know for me, because I also bought a house this year. Do you still feel, I personally still feel like I'm in an Airbnb. Yeah. Like I wake up sometimes and I'm like, I feel like we should like, you know, like you're unpacking, like things look neat in some places, and then you have one area where it's like you're storing things and you're like, I feel like all my things shouldn't be here because it's Airbnb. Do you feel that?
Not quite like that. I kind of feel like, who let me do this?
Oh yeah.
Like that's the way, like my dad was like joking. He's like, or he wasn't joking. He's like, what do you want for your birthday? And I was like, home ownership books on like what to do like every season. Like, what am I, like, how did you know like when to check the roof and like what your pipes are supposed to sound like, and when, like how to change the filter, like
a user manual.
Yeah. Like those literal things. And so that's literally what he gave me. Have I opened any of those books? No, but I'm going to.
You have books?
Yeah.
You can share?
Yeah, of course.
Like, okay, thank you.
Yeah. So,
not they exist. You got him and you're like,
I forgot actually until this conversation. Oh, okay. See, Patrick's on it. Yeah. So like, it just is like, it more just feels like, how do I manage this? Because I think that that's the, like, I keep thinking about like the upside. Sorry, like downside is not the right phrase, but like with every like blessing comes another amount of work that you have to ante up for. Right. So like with my new job, like I prayed for it and it's stressing me the fuck out these last 2 weeks. Like I know that this is like the storming and norming phase of like, I like acclimating to like the new normal, and I'm like not in that place yet where I can push back on things, because I'm still like trying to impress and like show that you hired the right person, right? And so like it's hard being in that phase of like not being able to tell people no right now, but I know that no is what some people are gonna have to start hearing soon. So like it's just like in that phase of like trying to, you know, like ante up to the work side of what you've been blessed with.
Right.
So that's real.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For me, I began this year super low key with my family. And it just, I think I felt very optimistic, I would say, for the year. This year has been very ghetto, 0 stars, would not recommend for me. So it started off like, yeah, this is going to be great. And then I think that meme, they're like calling God to make sure I'm not on his strongest warriors list next year. Like that's how I literally feel. Like, God, if you could leave me alone, that'd be great.
Not leave me alone.
But I want to end this year with just being surrounded by people that I love. And I think I've spent a lot of this year, like with you guys, we spent a lot of time together. I spent a lot of time with my family, and I think I just want to continue that. Like, I just want to be surrounded by love, surrounded by peace.
Yes.
And like just genuine relationships.
Yeah.
And just really, I think pouring into my relationships that have been pouring into me have been like my saving grace. So I just want to continue that for next year.
I love that for you.
Yeah.
I also didn't know where you were going when you were like, I've been spending a lot of time with you guys this year, but I want to spend the rest of it with people I love.
Anyone but you.
No, you guys are the people, my chosen family. I love you guys. I enjoy spending time with you.
Right.
Love you. Yeah.
love you
I mean,
too.
when I'm tired of you, I go home for sure. But like, I do love spending time with you guys.
We
Or
know.
you kick us out by going upstairs. Yes.
Listen, y'all can stay. I'm going to bed.
Right. That part.
The fact that we do is the part that
Right. It's wild.
I'll wake up from my like little like nighttime nap. I'm like, oh wait, you guys are still here. Wow.
We didn't want to leave you.
Having full blown conversations without me in my house. Weird.
You bitches are weird.
Okay, so what sentence, phrase, or word sums up your year?
Ooh.
I think I already gave mine.
I think roller coaster.
That's a good one.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not even gonna lie and act like it was all bad, because it absolutely wasn't. Like there's definitely been some high moments in this year.
Peaks and pits.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. Because there's definitely been like some moments I'm like,
Have you guys never heard that?
I have.
Okay.
No, I think it's peaks and valleys.
Yeah. Peaks and pits.
No, but all the Kardashians are like, oh, everyone go around and give your peak.
Your reference is the Kardashians.
I think it's peaks and pit. That's what they say. Maybe they say peak and valley. I don't think they say valley.
I'm sure they don't, but it's the Kardashians.
Okay, I could be wrong. Someone's gonna correct. No one's gonna correct us because y'all don't leave comments. But if you want to correct us, let me know.
But yeah, I
Roller
mean,
coaster.
Yeah, definitely a roller coaster, because it's been a little bit all over the place. It's been kind of exhilarating. I feel like I've been like in a vortex since March. Like it just moving at light speed. Like Tiff, I just want to rest. Like just be.
Go lay down.
I do. I do a little bit. And I think sometimes people think I'm crazy. I think obviously my family thinks I'm nuts, because they're like, you just don't even like us. No, I love y'all. I just need, my introverted self just needs time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like a lot of
to
it
regroup, yeah.
in order to regroup
And
from
a
this
lot of
vortex.
it.
So yeah, it would definitely be like roller coaster.
Okay.
I hear that.
I think the phrase for me is like grounding. Feels like the word. I don't know if that makes sense, but it feels like I've been reflecting the past couple of weeks about my job and kind of like where I am in my personal life, and I was just like, there's a lot of things that I didn't know about myself that I was starting to learn, and I was like, okay, I see. Like, I think before it was just like, I was, to Nicole's point, I was moving and there was just so much going on that I really never took the time that I really needed to take to actually be reflective about what was happening, why it was happening, if it was stuff that was really that I wanted, didn't want. Like, so I was starting to take some time to like think about that. Thank God for therapy. And what it made me realize is like a lot of the things that were happening that were things that even if I hadn't orchestrated it, again, thanks to God, he was putting everything in line, and they were in ways that I didn't realize I needed, but I think I just needed to like be grounded, right? Like just like kind of like sit in it and be okay with it and come to the realization that these things are all working out for my good. They are growing me in ways that I didn't even realize I needed to be grown until like I sat and thought about it. I was like, oh, like this is making me be prepared for what I want to have happen next. This is preparing me for a life that I had envisioned myself doing, but I had to go through some things that right now I wasn't exactly excited about. But I was like, okay, I see you, God. Like I see you like kind of like just grounding me in these things so I can be prepared for what's next. Because I think like what I hope for next year is that a lot of these things start to take off. And I'm hoping that that's what he's doing, but I feel like that's what he's also doing. Like I took the time to kind of be reflective about it, and I was like, oh, okay. All right. Like I said, instability at the beginning of the year, but I'm like seeing where a brick is being laid. Another brick is being laid. Like in these places where I didn't realize I needed them, but they definitely did.
Yeah.
I think
like that.
What's helped me throughout the year, for sure. I mean, because I've been super reflective. I feel like I do like a reflection at the end of every month, kind of, sort of. But I also, you know, again, everyone should seek therapy, but like some of my self-doubt, sometimes in doing the things like, who let me do this? Who let me buy a house? Who let me do these very adult things that maybe mentally you tell yourself you're not capable of, even though you are very capable of. In moments of second guessing it mentally, what I get deja vu a lot. And what I find that is moments where I'm feeling doubtful the most, God allows deja vu to happen. So that I'm like, and it's like, it's almost he's reminding me that I'm doing exactly what I'm supposed to be doing. So
I like that.
Yeah.
I think for me, like the phrase that comes to mind first is like ante up. Kind of like, like I feel like I have prayed for a lot of things that that I have right now, and so it's like time to just like meet the occasion. You know what I mean? It's like time to like learn how to be, grow, and excel in these areas. But I also think that with that is like remembering that I get to choose. Like I get to choose who I want to be at work. I get to choose the wife I want to be. I get to choose exactly what I'm going to put in my house, the energy that I want to have here, and like how I'm going to like conduct this life. And I was like talking to Patrick, I think last weekend when we were driving back from New York, and I was just like, it's kind of weird because I feel like I have like been thinking about like who I want to be as an adult for so long. And I feel like I'm at that point of like where I thought up until. And like now I'm like, what the fuck does the rest of it look like? Like what, that's real. Like what do I do from here? So like it's an exciting place, but it's just like a blank canvas. And so I'm kind of trying to like what comes next? Like how do I want to be? Where do I want to grow? Like what do I want to invest my time in? And that's so real. That's the I guess mode for next year.
Yeah, my word was traumatic. Year's been so crazy for me. Man, I just was not I think a lot of things came out this year, and it was not a pruning season. I feel like it kind of reminds me of when I first got out of college, and it was just like a really rough time because there's just a lot of learning I had to do, a lot of unlearning I had to do, like a lot of relationships during that time in my life were just like all over the place. Yeah. And so I think this is like this season feels very reminiscent of that for me, where I just feel very out of control, and I am a person that needs control and stability, and I need to know what's happening next, and I need to do the same thing. Like I have a schedule. I need to stick to a schedule. Like I'm that type of person. So having like kind of like none of that right now is terrifying. But I also can see how God could be like, I'm status quo, and you living life the same way you've been doing it isn't going to elevate you. So I kind of need to like shake things up for you for things to be better.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So while this year has been very hard, I do see a light.
Good.
It's
Come
not
on,
just
light.
dark. Like it was dark for a long time. But now I'm starting to see a light. Like there's a light at the end of the tunnel. I can see how, we could have probably did this a little less traumatic. But
the lesson had been received. I mean, sometimes he'd be like,
maybe not
yeah.
hindsight,
Yeah.
But at the same time, Lord, if you have another lesson, I would appreciate if it,
Matter of fact, no more lessons.
that too. Like if we can just
Pause.
Send me an email.
or the cheat sheet. I don't know if there's
Write it in the clouds.
if we have all the answers, give me the teacher's workbook
Right.
next time. It'd be great. But
Lessons for dummies.
give me the toddler version, like the beginner level. This advanced level is just not for me. But I do see how I'm optimistic for better because Lord, it could get worse. So let me not say that.
Smart.
I'm optimistic for better for next year. But this past
Come on,
year,
better.
has not been great.
I hear you.
So with that, okay. So our next question is, what sticks out to you most about the past year? For example, an event, a memory, a change, a big accomplishment, or a milestone.
I can go first again. I mean, I think the biggest thing that stands out is embracing change. I have a hard time with it just because sometimes change can feel like instability. And it's no exception. When you leave your childhood home, and it's not like we sold my childhood home. So that to me was like, whew, that was a lot, but it, emotionally it was a lot just because it's our family thing. Like it's history for us.
Yeah.
But I mean, the flip side of that is buying my first home. So, it's the home selling, home selling and buying was probably the thing that stood out the most. Is just all the pieces that surrounded it. Oh, that's a lot.
It is.
It is a lot.
It's stressful.
Like,
You guys are all the homeowners.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Right.
excited.
Oh, wow.
I wish I was
breaking
breaking
the
me. It
mold.
felt like giving away your firstborn child.
Oh,
Like,
it feels worse than that.
Yeah.
I mean, I wouldn't know,
I
but
bet, you can't tell people that because then, they won't do it.
well, Patrick was like, "It's okay. Everyone feels like this," and I was like, "Are you sure? Are you sure?
Yes.
Are you sure?" Because I'm thinking about what dinner is going to be once we move in, and it's like going to be by
Peanut butter and
candlelight,
jelly.
not because it's romantic, but because we're going to try to be keeping these bills low.
Okay.
Jesus.
Says the person now with an investment property.
Right.
Well, that's the part that made it hard.
Well, I mean,
Yeah.
Okay, touche.
Struggle
I've
comes
heard
with
I
level
didn't
up.
even think about that.
Me
Y'all not
either.
investment property. Y'all they're in real estate.
Yeah.
yeah, like, I mean, it might be hard, but you guys are doing,
You're
y'all
right.
are doing a lot of good
Yeah.
Lord,
things.
that's oh my god.
I'm sick. Okay.
Y'all are fancy.
Look at us being nice.
Full circle.
Yeah.
Wait, I didn't think about that.
Yeah.
That is so good.
That is crazy.
That's why every single time you're like, oh my God, this is so scary. I'm like, girl, you were literally doing it with two different properties.
But that's why it made it so scary. Because it's like, well, I mean, if we didn't, it would have been a lot easier.
Yeah, but now you got somewhere to go if something happens.
No, we don't. Someone living in there.
You can kick them out. That's not how leases work, right?
No,
It's
that is
not.
It's not.
That is not how leases work.
Just had a whole conversation about it today.
Goodbye.
No, it's not.
Just break it.
And it's like, but that's the other thing too, is that like investment property, yay. But like there are all these other things that come with
Yeah, true.
renting that out.
Just
So,
a
like,
stranger.
so that's like part of, what I was just talking about. But I think, I guess I'm just going to keep talking about the same like 3 scenarios for the whole year because that's what sticks out in my mind. So sorry. One trick pony.
We not sorry.
But
Go ahead. Go ahead. We not sorry.
I think what like sticks out to me is like, God just be like, just doing whatever.
Come on.
You're just like, like,
God be God.
right. Cause like you've been thinking about it long enough and I'm tired of hearing you complain. So here, that's how, like that, meme of, what's his name? Throwing Simba off the cliff.
Oh.
That's what it feels like. I was like, shut up.
Shut up and take it.
Between starting a new job and like, closing on a house like that close together, it just like really feels like, I had no idea that that's what was in store for this year. So like, that's what sticks out to me the most.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
I would like for our honeymoon to stick out more, but it just feels like a distant
But 1990 doesn't.
Just temporary. Nope, 1990 was yesterday.
I think
our
you
honeymoon
only
in
feel that
January.
way
Yeah.
because y'all stay traveling
Time was
somewhere.
crazy.
So
That's true. You guys are
Okay.
always on the road.
All right, moving on.
I mean, it's a good thing
Yeah,
to
it's not a
always
bad
be
thing.
somewhere.
You guys are travelers.
Right.
I think for me, well, one of the things that sticks out was, while my personal life has been, trash. Professionally, I've been doing very well.
Killing
Come
it.
on.
I'm just very proud of who I am becoming at work.
Okay, becoming at work.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I was at a point where same way, like where I just felt like I needed to kind of like people please a little bit or like prove myself and all these kind of things. And I'm at a point now where I'm like, I don't have to do that anymore. You know, my value, my worth. I've the past like 2 years, I've just really shined at work, and I have to give myself
Shine.
credit because
From my head.
I
into
don't
my
know where else I
shoes.
can. But at work, I just feel like I've done really, really well, and I don't feel like I need to downplay what I'm doing or question myself or go to someone else for something when I've proven to myself and other people that I'm good at what I do.
I love that.
Come on.
So like for me, work has really been like a gold star for me. Even like telling people, asserting myself at work too, where people will talk down to you because you're a woman or because you're black or because you're young or whatever. And I'm at a point
Right.
now where like, I don't care if you think I'm rude or mean because I'm not doing what you want me to do. Like, I like how like I said, how those memes going around, like how white men write emails. It's like, send this to me like right now. And that's it. Well, we were like, hey, so blah, blah, blah. Like we're like flowering it up or nicing it up. And which I do still try to do that because I do want to be true to myself and who I am as a person, but I'm also not about to let you talk to me any kind of way.
Hello. Come on.
So I really kind of like leaned into that this year. And I'm just proud of myself for doing that.
Yeah.
Girl, you
Proud
do
of you
be
too.
shining.
Yeah. Oh, thank you.
Well, also,
Shining,
it sounds
shining.
like you were saying earlier that you didn't have any. You were feeling like you didn't have any control. You took control in a place where you felt like you could.
Yeah.
That's nice
The
to
only
hear.
place I could. Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean,
And where you shine.
Yeah, where you
Right.
shine. Like I think you've found. It sounds like you found confidence in that, and you're like, all right, I'm just gonna stand in this and like
Yeah,
allow it
that's
to
true.
really be where I can at least have some stability. So I love that.
You. I'll take that gold cover poo for this year. I'll take that. The silver lining.
I mean, sometimes the best gifts are gold plated.
Yeah.
I'll
Okay.
take it.
You know?
Did you give your side?
No. So I have two, I think. For me, my life has been kind of stable, but around me, as I said, things in the beginning of the year were kind of unstable, and it became more stable, and it allowed me to be present in people's lives where things were not, and I appreciated being able to have those moments, right?
Right.
Like you were able to be someone else's stability.
Yeah. Yeah. And you don't get that too often, I don't think, or an opportunity to. And I know for me, my close friends and family are important to me. So to be able to have the opportunity to step outside of my own life and be able to be there for some other people, and even in ways that I didn't even know I was needed until I was there. And then I was like, oh, okay. Well, thank God I was able to be in a stable place for myself to then be able to be there for somebody else who was dealing with, some harder things. So those I won't be specific because it's not my story to tell, but I just had 2 times this year where that happened, and I was just grateful to be able to do that. Right. Like it was just something where I was like, things are getting a little bit better in my life. And so if I'm able to pour into somebody else a little bit, or at least be present, may not say a lot, but at least be there. That was nice to be able to do. So I had those for sure.
Good.
Yeah, I like it.
Okay, so to wrap up the summarizing part of our conversation, how did the year surprise you? And what things went as expected? Like what was surprising and then what was expected? And if this is like a redundant question, we can move on. If you guys feel like it's redundant.
I think I'll go first. I don't know if anybody else has anything, but the job I have, I was not expecting. So that was a definite surprise and blessing. I was like, okay, I'll take it. Cool. We'll roll with it. And then I think, I don't know if I have anything that was really expected. No. 2022, I was like, hey, Lord, whatever you're gonna bring,
Anyway,
bring it now. Bless me, Lord.
Satisfied.
But that was definitely like that was a nice surprise. Like I said, that to go from some type of instability to having like that was when I tell you was not planned, was not thought about, was not organized. It was just like, here, okay, sure, I'll take that. With some stability on top, sure, thank you. Mm-hmm.
Right.
Take all of that. So.
Yeah. From this conversation, I feel like we all just had a lot of surprises this year.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think for sure. I think the one that like the less like tangible, I guess, surprise for me is just like realizing how much work is left to do on myself. Like from the standpoint of like just like I think like becoming a wife and like realizing like how I want to operate in this space is like an everyday growing component. You know what I mean? Like having to choose, like really like make decisions about how I show up, the energy I bring, like what kind of wife I want to be is like, it's not just like, I'm just that. You know what I mean? Like I have to like make active decisions to be that. And like that is not like unexpected, but like in a good way for sure. Right. Like it just is like I'm learning actively like how to be more intentional about that, like and how to like try to continue my personal growth to become the wife that I want to be. You know what I mean? To have the relationship that I want to have. And like I knew it was like not going to be like easy, but I didn't think that I would be like at crossroads with myself sometimes. Like sometimes I just want to pout, but like that's not useful to anybody. So like I'm so like having to like actively work through like how I like showcase my emotions and how I communicate them is like something that I'm actively still dealing, where I used to be able to just be like, no, I can just like whatever, like by tomorrow I won't care, like, but that's not useful to like a long-standing relationship. You know what I mean? I have to like learn how to like talk about things and like decide that I'm not going to be annoying. Like these are my feelings and they're valid and I have to talk about them. Right. Even though like I'm uncomfortable and I'm sorry that it sucks. You know what I mean? But like it shouldn't be unexpected, but here I am.
No, that's
surprise.
That's funny because that's how I kind of feel like being a parent. Like a lot of your child kind of feels like a mirror to you and some of like not your bad habits, but like how you showcase your emotions, how you display your emotions, how you handle your emotions, how you interact with other people. And so you saying that kind of makes me think of how I've had to teach and learn through Trey. Like when he gets upset, his first reaction is to like scream or to like have a big, huge reaction. And so then I have to be like, my first thought when I'm mad is like to isolate. But I have to talk to him like, do you want to be alone? Like, do you need a hug? Like, what do we do when we're upset? And I'm thinking like, dang, as an adult, I probably should be looking at myself like, okay, girl, like, do you need to be alone? Do you want to, like, do you need to talk to someone? Like, and so like, it's a lot of same thing. Like, I didn't really realize how much self-reflection I have to do because I don't want to pass down like unhealthy or bad habits to him because if like, there's moments that I didn't feel like I could speak up when I was mad or upset or what have you. And so, but I don't want him to feel like he can't, but I also don't want him to hit someone randomly because he doesn't know how to control his emotions. Yeah. So we have to talk through like doing that and exploring that. But also it's okay to be mad, but how you react afterwards is what you're doing right now is not okay.
Right.
So I think I'm the same, like I'm really learning through the lens of teaching him that I don't, I mean, I was expecting it kind of. The fact that I feel the same way. The fact that someone let me bring a child home from the hospital is like, is there not a test? Like, you guys don't make sure that I can do this?
I didn't have any prerequisites for this.
Yeah.
Like, I'm just here.
I remember they were like, oh, it's time to go home. I was like, with what?
That? I'm not ready.
We've only been here for a day. What do you mean?
I don't even know him like that.
Yeah. You don't come with you don't come with no book or nothing. Like, same thing. Like, there's no how to do this. But yeah, I've learned a lot through him. He's the joy and my biggest teacher too. Like, it is a hard job being a parent, but I do enjoy every minute, most of the minutes of it. not going to say every minute. Sometimes it's hard.
Fair.
I respect that. I
Very
respect that.
fair. I appreciate your honesty.
I mean, I can't do anything else.
I will have to add. I didn't expect to have two extra children. I didn't birth these two, but
Girl.
they feel like mine. So
When you told me that you was at the zoo in the thick of the summer, I was like, "Woo,
yeah,
Right.
you
yeah.
might as well have had some kids."
Right. And you went the wrong. Did you go the wrong way?
No.
Okay.
Tiff told me right. I was like, oh, come on, we gonna
That's a
drag
lesson.
them up that hill.
Listen, that's a lesson you only gonna learn once.
Yeah.
Hello.
Because otherwise, we just get in an Uber back to the top. Okay.
Nicole, on you.
I mean,
Anything
did you have a
expected?
surprise?
I think the only
Surprise?
thing surprising for me is just understanding that I'm capable.
That was a surprise for you? Oh. Okay.
Yeah,
That's gonna
actually,
make me wait.
Yeah,
Okay. Because
get
I
together.
almost got me.
Get
no,
together.
don't do it. I
That
actually
just made me feel sad.
no, don't feel sad. Because therapy helps for it helps.
Trying to tell y'all.
I think you tell them every week.
I have this warmer that has a letterboard on it. And the very first thing I ever put on this letterboard was, what is it? Did I put I am worthy and capable or capable and worthy? Something like that. But it's just like a reminder to me. Cause sometimes like when hard shit comes up, you're like, oh, I don't think I can do that. But then you do it and then you get to the next thing. And it's, it's like you always, not everybody is that way. I know I'm probably a little bit more that way. Like I always look at them like, I don't know if I can do that. But it also teaches you that everything is teachable. You can always learn hard things or do hard things or even do the things that you don't think you're capable of. So I think along this journey is just this year, me personally, I've learned more about myself. I've always been like a introspective type person, but for other reasons, I probably have thought about it a little bit more. But it has been surprising me that I'm capable of doing hard things. And I constantly have to remind myself of that because I know that y'all tell me all the time, Nicole, you work so hard. And I'm like, sometimes I don't feel like that. Like, I feel like I'm not doing enough, but I also know that that's like the Black woman's complex. Like we never feel like we're showing up. So it's like, you have to remind yourself in a space that you are good at what you're doing. Especially when you're surrounded by a world of people who act like you're not, or they don't think that you can show up or whatever have you. So that was probably the most, it was surprising for me, but it also might've been more surprising in the fact that I'm also very capable of finding the help that I need too.
Yeah. I'm glad you're finally giving yourself your flowers.
Me too, because that's not surprising to me at all.
Yeah.
I feel like you do hard shit all the time. That's what I'm like, how does she do that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Constantly. Yeah.
Showing up
Sometimes
in
you just
general.
got to get on the phone and make shit happen
Like you
within a
just
few
did?
minutes. Yeah.
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 How do you do it?
Yeah.
I mean,
That actually leads into the next phase, but also the next question or segment. How did you take care of yourself this year? Mentally, emotionally, and physically? Or did you?
yeah,
I guess is the other question.
absolutely. I had to. I don't think I would have made it through this year if I didn't.
Yeah.
Definitely.
I started off the year. I thought I was a little bit together, and then things were not together at all. But I think I also made an executive decision for myself, like understanding where to get help. Like I had fallen off from going to my regular therapy sessions, and I picked that back up because I was like, wait a minute. We need to pull this together.
Where does accent come from?
Who did you just turn into?
I don't know. I heard that somewhere else. It was on a movie somewhere, but I felt like I need to pull it together. So, like, to answer your question, it was getting back to therapy and working on self-care, like making sure that I'm taking time for me because I don't do that. Like, I have the mindset of a caretaker. I'm constantly taking care of people. All the time. I'm always concerned about the well-being of others without oftentimes thinking about myself. So just putting me first in a lot of situations and working, because I'm not going to say I have set them completely, but working on setting boundaries. You know, that's
Yeah.
probably been a really big thing for me because it's necessary.
Yeah, that's real.
Mhm. Yeah. What
I
about
can-
y'all?
I can go. I took up tennis lessons this year because I just really needed active activity for myself. I could feel myself like slipping into a little bit of a depressive state. So I was like, I know I need to force myself to get out and do something active. And I've just been, I don't know, something about Serena and like how powerful
on,
she comes
Serena.
across.
Yeah.
Like I just want a little bit of that.
Yeah.
And
hear you.
so, and even, I want to say like letting out that frustration a little bit on something that is okay. You know, like it
Fair.
felt
Yeah.
like this is a good activity. It's also like, I'm getting older. So like I needed something that's like a little
Less impact.
yeah,
Yes.
little lower impact. And, doesn't involve like a lot of other people. So, tennis has been something that I have really grown to enjoy this year.
Good.
Also, this podcast actually has helped me a lot because it forces me to get up. It forces me to put clothes on. It forces me to
That's
like
real.
put makeup on and like get myself together. Like typically we're together most of the day. We're going out to eat afterwards. So like outside of just being at Tiffany and Patrick's house, like we're usually out in DC. So like it means we're going to be in public and I
Right.
can't just be out looking any kind of way. So it forces me to get dressed. Whereas if I didn't have this time with you guys, I probably just would have been in it at home, like in some sweats, like hair and some Sealy braids, like looking crazy.
You can do that at my house.
I mean, I'm doing it now. That's why I got this cap on.
I was gonna ask, but I was gonna let you live.
I let it slide. I was like, I know something's under
I
there.
already knew what it was.
Listen,
I already
I had to
knew.
wash my hair this morning and it was not dry and it's cold outside. Not trying to catch a
Look,
cold.
I was about to say, you better not catch no cold in your
That's
head
right. But yeah, like really forcing myself to like get out, get dressed, spend time with people, like not
Yeah.
hermiting and that kind of thing. Like it really helped me a lot this year. Despite everything that was going on.
That makes me happy to hear.
Yeah.
Yes. Oh, we love seeing you too. So
No,
that
I
was nice.
enjoy seeing you
I
guys.
say the podcast really. I know we talked about this for like years, but
Yeah.
it's nice to have a regular time to be able to see y'all.
Yeah.
So I got to keep it 100. Like I agree. It's nice. Even if we weren't we were started at my house. So like even if it was just like an opportunity to like catch up, do whatever, and then like I've learned a lot about all of us.
I was
I
just
think,
thinking the same
too.
thing.
So I
I've
think
learned so
that's
much about
nice.
y'all.
Yeah.
So
And we were for a long time. I will say that something I do appreciate about us is like before this, we were like scheduling like monthly dates with each other, like going out, just the four of us, like catching up. And of course the pandemic like really kind of threw a wrench in things.
yeah.
But I think you guys are the first people that I kind of just like risked it all. Like
yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
You're
in the
right.
pandemic.
Are we each other's pandemic couple?
We did.
Yes. Like, I mean,
We gotta do
if
what
we
gotta
die,
do.
we gonna die together,
Right.
I guess. Like, it is what it
We
is.
ride together. We die together.
Right.
But yeah, like you guys have been like a really big saving grace for me this year. So I'm just really thankful. Am I gonna cry?
No.
No, I'm not. Okay.
Okay. Good.
I mean, if you do, it's okay.
Yeah.
It
I mean,
is
I might
okay.
later.
Just catch up. I already did.
Yeah.
I think for me, starting therapy this year was like really big for me. I tried to do it last year and it just like was not right. Like the person that I was like my therapist, I just like, we're gonna reset and try again. And so I did I was like just like feeling kind of like down, like vacant almost like at the end of last year, which is like a weird,
Wow.
it's not like normal for me. And I was like, this is supposed to be the happiest time of my life. And I don't know why I feel like this. So I should probably talk to someone. Doing that has like really helped. I like don't feel like that this December, which is really nice. And my therapist is trying to quit me, which makes me feel like, does that mean I've graduated therapy or are you just tired of me? Like, I don't like, so we went to like monthly like meetings as of this month for the first month instead of like biweekly. And this is like the like biggest stretch of time that work has been like very stressful. And I'm like, I need to talk to you because like my competitive drive is really kicking in and I know it's not healthy and I'm trying to talk myself down, but it's a lot. Like I need to talk to somebody else. So it's like, it's going well. I think like everything is like there's growth in every like facet, which is nice. Even like when I'm feeling like frustrated by like myself, by like not growing at the, like I logically know how to do things, but like in the moment sometimes it just like does not materialize in the way that I'm like, okay, you talked about this when you weren't mad, so like now like why can't you do the things that you said you were gonna do? You know what I mean? But like things are like things are good. Like I think between that and like getting back into a routine has been really good. Just like a little morning routine of like, you know, my little green juice. Sometimes I try to do like an affirmation or two. Sometimes I'm, you know, just like drinking water before I drink my coffee, just like trying to do like healthy habits.
That's good.
And starting to work out consistently, like just joining Pilates has been helpful. I was in somebody's gym at 6 a.m. sometime this week, which would have been unheard of to me like 2 months ago. So, you know, there's growth, strides being made, things that are helping with my mental health and healthy coping mechanisms.
Right.
Turn the noise down.
Yeah.
For me, I also picked up therapy again. Again, thanks for job stability, because yes. And I will say, for me, the therapy was like, oh, yeah, I really needed this. Like, and I will also say, I learned some things about my therapist where I was like, oh, this is why you align me with this person. Because I remember early on, you guys were like, oh, you don't want like a female therapist. And I was like, but he's working. It seems like it's good. Recently, I was like, oh, this is exactly why I was here. Thank you, God. And so like things have been really well with that. So I've been doing that. I got a gym membership. I was good for a while, but job has made it a little difficult. But at least I was in there. Like I was feeling really good about doing that. And so I know I have a place I can go to when I do have the time to be able to do it. Trying to increase my water intake and make sure that's good. I was really trying to do that. So those are things that I have been trying to control within myself. But also I think too with the therapy, it's been not having it and then going back, not having it for almost 2 years and then going back to having it again has helped me be more reflective about where I'm at. And also, you know, like a lot of times you get stuck in this like repetitive thought process and you may not even know why you're doing it or where it's coming from. So to kind of dig into that with therapy and then like say to yourself, oh, okay, like, well, all of this I've like kind of worked up within my own mind. It's really not as bad as I've made it out to be. And so like having that space to be able to do that and then also actively work on it outside of the therapy session has been huge over the past couple of months since I've been back. So again, promotion of therapy, but I think that is a Kickstarter for everything else. Cause it's like, oh, if I don't have this, like, I don't know, you believe in God, you know, it's soul, heart, then mind. So you got to get that first. If you don't, the rest won't follow. And I think I just have been in, you know, that, kind of need for some help, and having that is kind of moved everything else along. I'm enjoying it.
I hear that. I think that's the thing that therapy reminds me of most is like, oh yeah, like you can just change your narrative about anything at any time. Yeah. Like you can just decide that that's not true for you anymore and just think something else. All right.
But you need some, it's weird because you need like, there are moments in your life where you don't need somebody and you can do it on your own. But then there's sometimes when you just get so caught up in that wheel that you just really need somebody to be like, stop, look, and just do something else.
Right. I mean, I think also.
Shoot, I don't remember which one it is.
Stop!
That's it.
Just fucking do something else!
I think also sometimes it helps for an outsider to look in because they can notice all of the different trends that may be connected that we haven't connected the dots for.
That's real.
Yeah.
That's
You know what I'm saying? I know that's
definitely
that for me.
Mm-hmm.
And then also I've been doing these mindfulness type things. Fortunately, my job provides these things because they know they work us like crazy, but it's fine. It's not, but it's fine. So they provide us all of these mindful things, and I've been participating in them. And one that we had just this week, the question was, you know, what do you do with self-care? Like when you feel guilty for taking care of yourself first, or, you know, the whole concept of you can't help others until you help yourself type deal. And the question was quickly flipped. And the one thing that I've kind of been living off of is when if you've traveled before, if you've flown on a plane, would they tell you to put your mask on first before you help anybody else? And it is stuck to me like glue. It's like, I am not, and I cannot help you until I help myself.
Yeah.
So, just sticking with that, if you need something to kind of help you, put your mask on first type deal is probably the one thing that I think has been the common thread throughout this year. Just trying to therapy, putting my mask on first.
Right. Come on.
So then that way I don't, so that we
Everybody
both
else?
don't die.
Yeah, 'cause I think also it kind of reminds me of like it's not selfish to put yourself first sometimes.
Yeah.
Like I think we, especially as women, like we make it seem like you said, we're caregivers, we're natural nurturers and other people. So it's sometimes like taking care of ourselves is not like that first thought. It's I need to take care of other loved ones, kids, spouse, mom, dad, family member, whatever. So like, and it's almost ingrained in us if we don't, or if we take time out for ourselves, we're being selfish, and that's not.
Or failing.
Yeah, and that's not the case.
You know what I'm saying?
Right. Because we can't. I've learned over the years, same thing with you, Nicole, that I cannot pour into anybody if I've not, poured into myself, or if I'm not taking the time to, either if my self-care looks like I'm just taking a break, for a day, or I'm just like being by myself, or if my self-care is doing therapy, or if my self-care is, whatever it looks like, knowing that it's okay to do that for myself. Because if not, then I think I said earlier, like one of the things I was happy to accomplish was like being able to be present. But you can't be present if you're constantly, taking care of other people or doing things for everybody else. Like you have to be able to say, okay, I'm solidly okay with who I am and where I am right here, so that I can then help you. If not, you're just adding chaos to somebody else's life.
Yeah.
I never want to be that person for anybody.
for sure.
So I've kind of learned like, okay, like if I'm okay with myself and I'm cool with myself and I'm like in that good space for myself, then other people, one, don't mind being around me, and two, can find some solace in that.
Yeah,
Even
they
if I don't-
benefit from it.
Yeah, they benefit from just like you being at peace. A lot of people have told me, this feels like brag, but I know it's not. But it's nice to be around me, and I try. So I'm like, okay, if that's the case, then I really want to take care of me, because I can't be that or offer that space to anybody else if I'm not taking care of myself.
Yeah.
And I earlier this year had a moment when I was so burnt out that I was like, oh, I have nothing to give. Like I had absolutely nothing. I felt horrible about it, but I also realized it's because I hadn't taken that moment. And so you have to really be careful about doing that, because if not, there's nothing, you don't add any value to anybody's life. No matter what they tell you, you add no value at all. You do not take care of yourself first.
Yeah,
period.
for sure.
Right.
So what character trait did you rely on or practice the most this year? For me, what is trying to practice forgiveness and patience. Like those two things for me have just been like the overwhelming theme in my life. I have not mastered either one of them yet, but I am relying heavily on being better at both.
Hey,
We respect an honest queen.
yes.
Right.
Yeah.
Takes time. Sometimes it takes time.
It does.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
it's going to.
Yeah. Shoot.
But say
Yeah.
those things
I know.
are things that it's easy. It's not easy. When it's one where you don't have to interact with somebody else as much and it's just self-work, it's a little bit like, oh,
Yeah.
okay, you can have a little more grace for yourself. But it's a lot harder when these things, forgiveness relies on somebody else. And that,
Yeah,
like,
right.
yes, part of it is you accepting it. Sure. But the other part of it is also this other person, whether or not there's acknowledgement, whether or not there is willingness, whether like there's a lot of components that don't. You talked about control.
Yeah, I was like relinquishing control. Yeah.
So a lot of that I can get how it's easier to have a character trait that's just about you versus when it relies on somebody else, to interact.
For sure.
Yeah. I'm going to say maybe patience with myself. And someone said it not earlier today, but somebody said it before, and I had it in my head, and of course it's not there now, but like just understanding that, I don't know, self-work is just, I don't know, patience just with myself or allowing yourself grace.
Yeah.
I think
Extending.
like one of our episodes, reserving grace. It's like just reserving grace for yourself. Sometimes, like,
Yeah.
That's real.
you know.
Yeah.
I think for me, like, I feel like growth is like annoying, but I feel like that is kind of it for me, like, or like personal ambition in the sense of like trying to be more conscious of like how I'm like treating those around me. Like I feel like I had like a day a couple weeks ago where I was like, I like hung out with you guys and I like went home and I hung out with them and I had like a date night with Patrick, and I'm like, okay, I'm like making sure that like all my relationships in my life are fed right now. Like I'm really like trying to make sure that I'm like showing up for the relationships that matter to me, and that I'm like trying to make sure that I'm like in the right space and like giving to those relationships in the way that I want to, which is important to me. But I don't always get to like have like the brain space to like exercise that. So like trying to be very conscious of that, trying to like, you know, be kind of like owning the energy I'm bringing to situations and like trying to fix it when it's fucked up on my part, or like when I need to address something that was done unto me, you know what I mean? Like just trying to be like more like forthcoming with those things has probably been, I don't know what character trait that is. I'm stumping myself, but that's what I would say has been true for me.
I think the thing I relied on the most this year probably was a sense of like, it's like integrity, or like, you know, just making sure that, Tiff, as you said, like being able to show up for people. I think that I looked at that as like, I may not have a lot, but that's the one thing I can do. And so like for me, that was like being able to do that, like, and being, I don't know, it feels like integrity, like just like making sure like, you know, on my job, with my friends, with family, if that's who you are, then be who you are. And so like, for me, that feels like integrity, like just maintaining that. That was what I kind of relied on, I think, this year. Was I had the opportunity to be able to do it. So that's what I really wanted to do. And I think that the thing, what was the last one? The one was practice. I'm practicing joy. I'm trying to really practice joy. I learned two things this past year. The past year, I lost my godmom, and her word always was joy, like it was all over her house. And then at your wedding last year, I learned that my word, don't know the dialect for in the Philippines, but whatever that is my name means joy. And I was like, you know, I think I'm gonna I didn't know that before.
How did you learn that at my wedding?
Photographer. Your photographer.
Cool.
Yes, she told me that. She's like, oh, your name is Cyan. And I was like, yeah. She's like, it means joy. I was like, oh, that's great. I remember that. Yeah, but it was something that I was like, okay, I want to, like, there's a reason why that was coming up a couple of times last year. And I wasn't really like, I don't know, intentional about that word. And so I was like, I want to be really intentional about trying to do that this year. So I've been trying. It's, you know, every day and it's not the same, but I try, especially when I was doing therapy, like I want to be like reflective about what has happened, being joyful. And I think, like I said, when I said grounded, like it made me realize a lot of the things that I've been going through or I've been dealing with have been preparing me. And you find some joy in knowing, oh, okay, that this is preparing me for the next thing. So joy has been the thing that I've been trying to practice.
I like that. I feel like I didn't answer the one I'm trying to practice. And I think for me, it's being authentic in my feelings, which is dumb, but is a new space.
No, that's real.
And like the sense of like, I feel like for the first time, I'm like trying to like not act in ways that are expected of me, but just being like, all right, this is what it is. You know what I mean? I feel like Patrick kind of released me earlier this year. We were talking about like how to like talk to each other when emotions are heightened. And I feel like I talk about this a lot, not because I'm mad a lot, but because it is the emotion that makes me the most uncomfortable. And so like I do a lot of work in like trying to like kind of analyze that or like trying to like figure out what that is. But earlier this year, he's like, you are allowed to be mad. He's like, why do you always like leave when you're mad? Because like, I'm like, because I want to talk to you when I'm not mad. I want to talk to you like when I'm like feeling more level headed. And he's like, but you're allowed to be mad. And I was just like, wow, I've like never really acknowledged it. Like I don't even
there's
really
a concept. Yeah.
like I don't even really acknowledge that I'm mad. I'm like, oh, I'm upset or I'm stressed or I'm like, this made me feel sad. Like I don't really even acknowledge really when I'm feeling like mad about something. So like just trying to like be like more true to myself and like kind of like just like dealing with what comes with that. Like I was at a work event and I was just like not feeling like, you know, that feeling when you just like don't find your people, like when you're just like, I'm like, but you're not uncomfortable in it. Like I could be like forcing conversations with you guys, but I just like feel like I haven't like, there is like no natural entrance into this conversation. So I'm just like sitting here like, and then like when a conversation naturally occurs, like I'm happy to get involved, but like I'm not uncomfortable in that. But I feel like people are like, will come up to me because they're like, oh, like, why are you sitting by yourself? And I'm like, oh, because I don't have a problem sitting by myself. Like I'm okay. You know what I mean? So like that in itself has become like an opportunity to actually get to know people that are like, that will come up and talk to me, which is like not the way that I expected that to go, but it works out. It's a lot less work on my end, but just like trying to just like be like more comfortable in like what I'm feeling instead of like trying to put on the mask. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I really like that. It made me think of our mental health episode where obviously it started to get a little emotional. And people, I think one of you were like, no, don't cry.
Oh, you mean?
Oh. And the clinician that was sitting with us was like, no, tears are healthy. And it made me think of like embracing your emotion and not even just when people tell you not to do it. Because she said this, she's like, when people tell you not to do something, it's because it makes them feel uncomfortable and they need to think about why it makes them uncomfortable. But even thinking about it introspectively, like when something makes you uncomfortable, think about why it doesn't make you comfortable. Like I admittedly, it makes me uncomfortable when sometimes people are in my space and not like touching me. Like touch doesn't bother me, but like when people stop it. I'm saying like when people come up to me, because if I'm alone, right? Because I'm like to keep to myself. Oftentimes I'm just observing the situation to see where I want to go and who my people are.
Or if I want to leave.
I want to go. Then, so it makes me uncomfortable, but sometimes it also makes me think of like, why does it make me uncomfortable? Right. And I think that anybody could benefit from doing that in whatever capacity it looks like. Like, think about the thing that makes you the most uncomfortable and ask yourself why. Yes. And I mean, sometimes it might cause a deep dive. But
that's actually a good segue into the next question, which I actually want to transition to our intention phase. I feel like we've really reflected a lot.
Yeah.
Good on the reflection.
Yes, I think we can move on to like next year and intentions. So like in what ways do you guys want to grow next year? You guys kind of touched on it a little bit with that practice piece.
Yeah.
But how do you want to grow next year?
I think for myself, how I want to grow is continue to, first and foremost, I want to continue with my self-work. And what does self-work look like? Self-care, absolutely setting more boundaries, in a lot of different capacities, and making sure that I'm taking time for me. And not just like, my therapist made me think about it. I was like, oh, well, my nail appointments is my me time. She was like, sometimes that's not enough when you aren't filled up. Like you going away for an hour, removing yourself from a situation for a short period of time is not sometimes sufficient.
Yeah.
And
she
she's
said,
like,
do more. And I like that.
Yeah. do more of it. And it made me, I know, Saya, you talked about sometimes how you just go for a weekend and just spend time with yourself. Like me, I want my intentions or how I want to grow. I want to go places next year. I want to,
we outside.
Yeah, I want to be.
You outside. I don't know if we're invited. Sorry. I just inserted myself into your.
We already know how that works.
I mean, a girls trip is on the list. Yes. Absolutely. I want to, go a couple places.
Say absolutely again. Lie again. Say absolutely again.
No, I'm serious. Girls trip is on the list.
All right. Hold you to it.
I'm the one that has brought it up at least twice.
Brought it up doesn't mean anything.
Well, that means it's still on my radar. If I stop talking about it, I don't want to do that shit no more.
All right, okay. Wow. I'm proclaiming it.
Anyway,
I'm scared.
just more self-work. I think is how I'm growing in the new year. And just practicing more stability and loving on the people that pour into me.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. How are y'all growing?
I think my intentions for next year, a major one that I didn't realize again until therapy, was I am noticing within my own self that I have.
Oh my God. Between the two of you, gulping and slurping. God. We had another one. I thought we were going to get to the year. I'm trying to turn my head. All I hear is, it was that one right. Was it multiple times? All I heard the whole first like.
And then yours, you can hear it in your throat. Literally.
Yes. Oh my God.
That one wasn't sure if it was just loud in my head.
No, it was not. It was, and then like, throat goat over here.
Oh my God, my
How
eyes
she got
are
this
wet.
house?
Throw baby.
Was that this year or last year?
Here.
What was it? Man, what a time.
Oh, man.
So many jokes. Wow.
Okay, sorry.
Yeah, do you guys need a break?
I don't know if you need growth in that area.
Oh.
Clearly, I don't.
Obviously.
Okay.
All right, so for me, what ways I want to grow this year? Therapy helped reveal this year for me that there are definitely some ways that I have been, I don't want to say self-sabotaging, but it kind of feels like that. Like I think for me, there are ways in which I want to grow that feel scary, right? There are ways in which I want to grow that are foreign to me, right? And I'm recognizing with my own self that it's going to take some stepping outside of the box. It's going to take some intention. It's going to take some goal setting, all those things. But not only that, but I think it's just going to really take me believing in myself a little bit more.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, my areas of growth, I think I just want to believe what I I hear everyone else saying, but I can't see yet, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the area I really want to grow in. I wanted to just be able to be in that space. Earlier this year, I realized for my own self that it was certain things that I didn't feel I was worthy of, I was. And so moving forward, that's what I want to grow in. Like I got into the space of being like, oh, like I deserve this. Like it's okay to have this. It's okay to be here. It may not feel comfortable at first. It may not be everything I envisioned it, or it may come in a way that I didn't plan it out exactly, but I deserve it. I want to be able to grow into that space of being okay with loving on myself enough to embrace what I deserve, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So that's
Definitely
my
does.
intention and desire for the next year.
Mm-hmm. I love that. I do too.
Thank you.
For me, I would say I want to be better about constructive criticism in my life.
Preach.
And not taking everything so personally, especially when I know it's coming from people that love me, that have my best, that have good intentions for my life. And sometimes I take it and my immediate thought is like, you'll know what the F you're talking about. But then I step in, and then I take a step back, and I'm like,
you?
yeah, and I'm like, you know what? That's not a terrible thing you said. You know what I mean? I just in that moment,
Wasn't ready to receive
I
it.
wasn't ready to receive it. So I do want to be better about that, because while I do think I've done a lot of self-work, there's definitely ways that I can improve that will not only improve me individually, but improve how I show up in the world, in all aspects of my life. So I think I definitely want to do better about receiving. And even with like compliments, I do have a really same thing. I think I have a hard time, like when someone says something nice about me, is immediately like being like combating it with something negative about me, and I just don't want to do that anymore.
Oh, your shirt, thanks, I got it on sale. Like that?
No,
that's me.
No,
That's
I'll
what
be
I
like,
do.
girl, this shirt is dingy. It's old. Like I'll be like, that's kind of thing. Like instead of just being like, sometimes I'm doing better about being like, oh, thank you, and then I try and make myself feel less uncomfortable by complimenting that person back too, which I think is a good thing. But I just want to like,
you have to sit in it, right?
Yeah, sometimes just like sit and being like, it's okay when people are saying good things about you. Like, I don't know why that feels so weird. So I just want to be better about maybe accepting truths is my intention for next year. Is accepting truths, both that in both ways can help me grow as a person. So I want to set that intention for next year.
I like that.
That was a good one.
Yeah, it was a really good one.
I think a lot of people could benefit from that, just because I was watching a movie the other day, and the two actors that were talking, one paid one a compliment and they said something, and they were like, can you just take the compliment?
Yeah.
You redirect so much. And I happened to be sharing it with our hairdresser, and she was like, Nicole, you are the queen of redirection. Every time I'm like, girl, your hair looks good. She's like, I'm like, oh, my hairdresser did it, but it's your hair. Like, it grew out of your head. I didn't have nothing to do with that. But you know, I'm get it. I think
we have to unlearn that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, when did we lose that?
But isn't
When
it
does
an
one lose
attempt to
that?
be like humble? Is that what that is born out of?
I think if you're just like, thank you. Yeah. But if you're like, for me, sometimes it's like downplaying or like making myself smaller for your compliment. I think that is what's not okay.
Yeah. I think to that end, that's what my intention for next year is like, I'm done making myself small, and I'm done like being like feeling like I have to question whether or not I'm capable of something. Like I'm just sick of my self-doubt. I'm really like we gonna duke it out on December 31st, and then I'm gonna put that shit into the 90s. And then we're gonna go into 2023
into the oblivion.
Into 2023, just like knowing I'm capable and like being self-confident. Because I'm just like tired of the war in my brain of like, oh my gosh, like am I able to get this done? Am I like I haven't done like seemingly insurmountable things before and killed that shit. So like I'm just like trying to like own more of that and maintain that energy, not to a point where it like makes me like prideful or overconfident or anything like that, but like definitely just like wanting to stop questioning myself and my ability. Like I'm done with it. Everyone's like, my 30s are where I learned that like I don't have to like listen to anybody else, and like I am who I am. And I'm like, oh, when does it hit? Like, what is it? Were you 36? Like, yes, I'm 33, and I'm still feeling like it's not like where I need it to be.
I feel like every single time I hear that, like, oh, my 30s is where I thrived, and then like when I'm in my 30s, I hear like, oh, my 40s is where I thrive. So I'm like, when am I going to hit this?
Because I think it levels up. You know what I'm saying? It's like right now we're in a space where maybe we may not feel the best, but it was better. Maybe, I mean, some might say it was better than 25 and up, or some may say it was better than 35 and up. Like I think it just depends on your perspective of what better looks like, as long as better is happening.
Yeah.
I like that.
I think also too, we us being reflective in therapy, like where we're at right now is not where we used to be. And so I think a lot of times it's like, oh, in my 30s, when you're in your 20s, is like, oh, well, you didn't have
really adulting.
Right. Like you didn't really weren't doing as much as you were doing in your 30s. And so even your perspective of what you, to Nicole's point, of what you're even aiming for, what things are going to look like, who you're dealing with, you got kids, like all those things are added factors that you didn't have to think about in your 20s. So the glow up is different for sure. I don't know if the parameters are ever the same. And as somebody who's in the 40s and still dealing with some other stuff, I don't know that there's ever a plateau. But I think that we just, I think we just.
That's not what we want to hear. Tell us that you made it. That you're the pinnacle of self-confidence, and that you know.
I just said I wasn't. So I don't know what you want from me.
What lies do you want me to tell?
Backpedal in the
I
conversation.
literally just said I was not.
People rewind 3 minutes.
Blow is coming in T-minus. That's what I want from you.
So sorry. I have nothing of the sort for you.
Cheerio.
Man. Okay, well, to get us back on a positive note,
Sure.
in what areas of your life do you feel momentum building?
Ooh.
I think for me, it would probably be like I've never taken the path that's been easy, right? I just haven't. That's just how my life is set up, and how I am set up. I'm like, oh, okay, this is what everyone else is doing. Do I want to do this? No. So how can I do something else? Like that's always been me. I don't know what that's about. God and I will talk about it later. But I think for me, that's always been that struggle between like, even though I don't want to do these other things, it's like, oh, well, like, do I have to? But God has kind of got me in this spot where he's like, no, just trust who I made you to be. Trust where you're going. And so like, I feel like that's kind of what I'm rolling into the next year with. Like, I think he's just kind of like building some things on top of the things that I've already kind of known about myself or known how he's working on me and how he's worked through me. But he's just like, you've not been confident enough to trust this. So like, let's get into the trusting process. So I think like he's finally slowly building that bit of faith that everyone talks about. But I think you don't get faith unless you live. And I think that for me, a lot of us have lived through the pandemic, but I've lived some other things that I did not expect in my life. And I think that I'm just kind of building that faith to be able to walk in the way that I've always wanted to walk, but wasn't able to actually like meet. So like those things feel like they're coming together for my next upcoming.
For me, I think I've already said this a little bit, but professionally, I just feel like I've finally hit like a good point where before I would like apply for jobs and I've taken pay cuts just to like get where I felt was like a better like culture or like things like that. And now I'm just kind of like, no, like I have a very, if it's not X salary, if it's not, I don't have flexibility. If it's not this, like I'm not taking it. Like I'm not,
Come on now.
I know what I want. I know where I'm at. Like even like in my current job, like I'm living in expectancy of a pay increase because like I said, I've been performing for the past 2 years. And so I just really feel like
PJ next year? Oh, sorry.
I mean, okay.
Hey, I'm with it.
I'll accept it. I don't know what white man we gotta sleep with to get it, but just joking.
Dead ass.
Not white man.
I'm sick.
I cannot. Oh,
Drake
God.
and Diddy are the only ones that I know.
The dead silence.
Right.
That is hilarious.
And Drake not about to ice spice me in these streets.
I'm sick.
But yeah, I feel momentum in my professional life. I just really feel like this is my time to really just thrive in that area. Like I just feel really, really good professionally. And while parenting is like, I don't know if I'll ever feel momentum. I kind of feel like I'm always a little step behind him. He's a firecracker. Like he's keeping me on my toes, but he's teaching me a lot of things and ways I'm responding differently to him. And just like, I don't know if I expected to be the type of mom that I am. And like, I don't know.
Explain, please.
Yeah.
I think in my head, you think of like, oh, when I have kids, I'm going to do this, or I'm going to raise them like this and all this other kind of stuff. But then like when you're in it, it's just kind of like trial
Chaos?
by fire and it's a lot of chaos. And it can it can break you.
Yeah.
Or you really can thrive. And don't get me wrong, there are moments when I feel like I can't do this. But like you said, you push through because I still love being a mom. Like that is a huge part. It's not the only part of me. It's a big part of me and I do love it. But I just feel like I'm proud of the mom that I'm becoming and the mom that I grow to be with him.
Mm-hmm.
And I love who he is as my kid. So I just think that we just are a great pair. Like I love being his mom and I hope that he loves being my son. So I just think that those two areas are areas that I'm like really, really thriving in. And I just want to hold on to that in 23.
Man, I love that for you.
Me too.
I think I'm thriving in my building momentum, definitely in my marriage. And I feel like kind of similarly, like, am I the wife that I thought that I was gonna be? And in a lot of ways, the answer is no. In a lot of ways, the answer is yes.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of like interesting to I'm not watching it play out, I'm living it. But like in that same sense of just dealing with the reality of that, in what that dissonance is really interesting to me. But I'm excited for what to come for us.
Mm-hmm.
I just am, again, it's just it just feels like that blank canvas. I would choose this guy every day, and that is gross, but but it's true. It's just hard to imagine I think a lot about if I had made different decisions, maybe I would not be in this space, and that feels really weird because I love this space so much. But I think I'm also building momentum at work, and I won't say that I'm thriving, but I will say that I'm building momentum. I'm definitely out of the newbie phase, and I'm in that storming and norming phase, which is
into the thick of it.
Yeah, definitely. It's frustrating. And I haven't been a new person at a job in a long time. So it's really just remembering what it's like to where I'm going to start showing my personality, where I'm going to start putting my foot down, where I'm going to start showing people exactly who I am and what I'm capable of. So I'm excited for that because I'm sick of this.
I'm really sick of this.
I'm really sick of it. Indeed. So yeah, that's my response.
I think I'm kind of in the same space you are in a different way. I probably have more momentum building within myself. Our watchers may be picking up on that, caretaking, as a whole, not just for an individual person, is kind of a really large part of me. But taking back who I am, just taking care of me is probably something that's ramping up a lot, especially now that I feel most of the madness that was around me has kind of died down. So it's I feel I have time and space to take care of myself. But the other part is I absolutely feel momentum building in my love relationship, and just releasing others' expectations on what it needs to look like. I mean,
come on now, say it.
I think that's always been a big thing. Make sure you're checking the boxes or this, that, and the third. And I think I've been kind of vocal lately about just knowing that my relationship with Harry is what we've created it to be and not what other people have created it to be.
I'm so sorry.
Okay.
I forgot.
Because we've been together almost 11 years, and I think most people have.
Jesus.
I know. A long time.
Yeah, common law.
Yeah. I think a lot of people have expectations of what it needs to look like, but in all honesty, I don't think I've loved this man any more now than I have in the past.
Listen, you got your Stedman. That's okay.
Yeah, she put him in that guest house. That's right.
I had a guest house.
I'm so sick of y'all. Not if I had a guest house. You're right. I would put him in there instead.
No, in all seriousness, our relationship has evolved. We've been through shit, fire, and some extra stuff, but to see,
that's her boo.
Been through the thick of it.
Yeah, we have. And to see it come around and we be in the space of just being happy and leaning on one another a lot, and him giving me space to be who I am and trying to figure out all the self-work that I have to do, I think has really shifted like it's created peace in a way. So that's where I feel momentum the most is between him and I.
Oh,
I love this.
for you.
It is.
Ew, where's that? And I hate it.
Yeah.
Well, the one thing we gonna do.
It's
tangent.
tangent.
Wow. I didn't know it was time already.
I love it. I love it.
Okay. Today's tangent. What's something that's inappropriate that gives you joy?
Well,
You know what I really, really love is like a good toxic R&B song.
That's fair. You have your pick of the litter these days.
do. And like Faithful by Jay Howell, like that is a terrible song.
It's terrible,
But it is such a bop. It is such a bop. And it is so good. It also reminds me of like Father Stretch My Hand from Sunday Service Choir.
Mhm.
Kanye West is a terrible person. We've already established this, right?
Very problematic.
But when those horns and those drums drop,
You be stretching your hands?
the horns and the
well, the gospel version of it. It is so good. Like I want us to sing that at church so bad. I'm sure the Lord is going to strike down our church right after.
No.
Pastor's going to be like, you want me to cut the mic?
Right.
Cut them.
It's going to be a pile of dust after. But man, are we going to jam our way right into hell? That song is so good. But yeah, I love a good toxic song.
I think do you guys want to go first?
No.
No.
Okay, sorry. Mine is I like saying nigga in front of white people.
And be like,
I dare you.
I just like watching them not know how to respond and just kind of readjust. I was talking to two people. It was like right after the election, and I was talking about how Reverend Warnock is on my line all the time and how I get 82 emails
and text messages.
yes, from him every day. And
How'd
I was
you get
like,
my number?
here, nigga, damn, I'll just like give you some money. And both of them were just like, they didn't know if they could laugh or not.
Where were you?
And I found so much joy in that. It's just my friend's house. She white.
Oh, they said work at first. I was like, wow.
No.
You are really getting right
not
into
wild.
it.
I am not.
Inappropriate and joy all together.
Wow. Extra
No,
wild.
but yeah, no, that's my favorite.
Love that.
I also like calling white people nigga in front of white people because it makes them confused. So it just makes me even happier.
Right.
It's the nigga.
Who do you do that
I used
with?
to call my old boss a nigga all the time.
To his face.
No.
Oh.
Okay.
Like, how do you sell a
He used to just
job?
be getting on my nerves like, damn nigga. You just like just this nigga really wants me to I just used to be ranting about him, but he was white, but it just like felt right. So I used to call him a nigga.
Oh my! I am like hot.
Not Nicole being embarrassed for you. Nicole, that's how the white people feel.
It is.
Oh my god!
Are you okay?
Yeah, I am.
I don't know if I have anything. I'm not sure I do, but I just can't think of what I might find inappropriate that brings me joy.
Probably your playlist.
I was thinking that.
Not the playlist.
I mean,
It's
I'm not gonna lie.
definitely Nicole's answer. I don't know why you're stalling over there. That should be yours.
What?
Well, I was
What,
going
my
to say. I
playlist?
was going to say
Yeah, your
Like,
tantric podcast on the way to work.
you said Kanye, but I was like, yeah. R.I.P. R. Kelly. Like, I know he's not
Oh,
gone,
I was
but
thinking about
yeah,
that.
like
the keys to
it's
ignition.
there are so many songs that I like will be in my head
Hot and
that have
fresh out the
accidentally ended up
kitchen.
on playlists, and I'm like, oh, I didn't even let me take that off. Okay, I'm sorry.
Yeah,
But like they're just I guess that's one, but I don't feel like that's not fully it. Probably I don't know, I do like to cuss. I do like to cuss. Like it just it brings me joy.
adds flavor.
It
I just
does.
started
That's
again and I
flavor.
agree. Like sometimes it's just like
Wait, throw one out. Throw one out.
It does.
I can't do it in like public. I don't know, something about like public settings feels like speaking very uncomfortable. But like when I'm in my car, I used to censor myself. Now I'm like, I'm saying that word.
Yeah. Yep. It's something about it.
Yeah.
It's just and you're so cute.
I'm gonna say it.
Damn it. In your car, I can see you now.
I had to stop for a long time, but
I'm gonna say it definitely toned down, but you know, it's just yeah, it's inappropriate a lot of times, but it just feels
Sometimes there's no
it's just-
replacement.
that's what I was just about to say. Is like sometimes it's just the word. Like if there's no replacement for when you like really feeling. You just gotta be like, bitch. Like there's no other. There's no other one. Like
What do you say?
Or saying,
yeah.
or instead of saying WTF, like just like what the fuck is wrong with you?
There.
That was giving very much Carisha. I love that for you.
Yeah.
Nah, that for you. You got one, Nicole?
I mean, no, I think no, because I think most of my life is fairly inappropriate. I mean, people know that I like my man, so you know.
God. Okay.
Yeah,
leave it at
that's
that.
exactly where you were going. So we're good. Moving on. Moving on.
All right. It's time for meme of the week.
Meme of the week.
Okay. So today's meme of the week comes from I'm Just Eden. She's coming through on my funny memes.
Every time I see her on my TL, you've already liked the post. Every time.
I just love her so much. And she says, I give just enough F's to stay employed and out of jail. No more, no less.
Let me tell you, honey.
I love it.
Yeah.
And the balance changes from week to week. Let's just keep it
Does.
above.
Always, day to day. New mercies. I
Yeah.
see.
Have you guys seen that meme? It's like sometimes like they look through at their man through like a fork and they're like, just like him, like, yes, I can see what it's like. What would it be like?
Only thing saving you is this fork
Yeah,
right
really
here.
is. I'm like, dang, I am not meant for jail.
That is so funny.
No, that
It does
was
remind
good.
me when Michael Vick, he recently had a interview with, don't get me to lying, I cannot remember, but he was basically like when the dog fighting thing happened, and he was saying that at first he kind of thought it was a joke, like he's like, there's no way they're gonna like send me to jail for real, and so that then he was like, it really hit him when like them bars closed, and he was like, oh.
Not all the way to the bars. Like
Not the sentencing or
when
anything?
you were in court, like
No, I
when
think
you
he
had
said
to hire a lawyer,
Right.
it didn't hit you that
No,
it
I
was
think
real.
he said he went to court like high one because he was just or like he was like they're not sending me to jail.
I don't think that he thought that he was gonna.
He didn't. He basically he was like I'm Michael Vick. Like you're not sending me to jail.
He didn't
And so-
realize them white people love them
Yeah,
animals.
but he was basically like how like once it really clicked for him, he like cried for 2 weeks because he was like,
Jeez.
oh, this
I'm
is
in jail.
for
That's
real,
real.
for real. And that's how I feel like
Wow.
when he said that, I was like, oh yeah, that's how I feel too. Like I would crumble if I went to jail. So I just have to give just enough
Yep.
to stay on the free side.
Mm-hmm.
Dang.
Free
If I didn't love my freedom,
yeah,
if I didn't love,
free
That's like that other meme that's
free
like
BG.
it's not a meme, it's a reel, it's a sound, and it's like I'm a lot nicer to people than I want to be. And I don't get enough credit for that.
Wait a minute. Because of that, I should make a T-shirt for myself
Not for myself.
with that. Yes.
if y'all only knew, if you only knew.
Hello.
Yeah. So to wrap things up, do you guys want to do aftershade or affirm each other? We haven't done that in a while.
We haven't done that.
Wait,
Like,
but
since
how
the
would we
beginning.
affirm each person?
Yeah, like we did. Yeah.
Yeah, I
At
think at the very beginning we affirmed
Yeah.
each other.
I don't know if I'm emotionally prepared for this.
This
Okay,
is.
we can just be mean. That's fine too, I guess.
I mean, we do that anyway.
Yeah,
Do we need?
let's be at
Our
It's
work?
it's
shady.
after shade still.
Yeah,
we can
okay.
affirm a shade each other.
Huh. Okay. Who wants to go first?
Okay, well, should we do each person? It's like first, like everyone affirm Nicole. Everyone.
Oh yeah, that's much less pressure.
Okay.
Okay,
Good,
okay.
good, good.
Okay. Can we not start with me?
Okay.
Immediately uncomfortable. I thought you just said you were working on this.
Yeah. No,
but not right now.
no, we're gonna sit in this uncomfortableness.
2023.
How about we start with you?
Me?
Yeah.
No, absolutely not.
What is happening?
Okay, fine. I'm okay. Whew. Okay. All right. You're right, because I did say that my intention was to accept truths. So go ahead.
Not the dun dun dun
What
dun.
is happening? What is
I feel like
happening?
the beginning of a
I don't know,
scary movie.
I'm regretting suggesting this.
Immediately no. Immediately no.
Abort.
Okay, hurry up. Let's just get it over with.
All right. Who's going first?
Where's the Band-Aid?
Just get my affirmations over. Get them off your chest and move on.
Wait. Who's going first?
I guess
Seriously.
you can go ahead and do me. Fine.
Okay. So
my
again,
God.
Go
who's
ahead.
going
Going
Sorry.
first. Yeah.
Sorry, just go.
I feel
Okay,
like
go
you're most
ahead.
prepared.
Yeah.
I'm not, but okay.
It's fine. You're the most
we're-
put together right now.
Okay. All right.
Close
So
enough.
for Carol, this is it can be an affirmation and shady.
Yes.
Okay.
Not the chair shit.
Protect your neck.
No. Carol, this year I have watched you become the mother I think you don't even realize that you.
I'm gonna cry.
Okay.
You said mother, and you're already well in that.
The mother. I just said mother.
I'm just gonna make it.
All she said was the movie title.
Just from the water.
She said the movie title. And
The movie is terrible, and here you are crying.
All right.
Okay.
The mother that I think that you don't even realize that Jesus, I'm never gonna get through this.
Water.
I just don't want your dirty napkin.
Here. This one's not dirty. All right. So as I was saying,
How are you crying and still shady? How is it
because
both?
at her core, she is.
who she is.
Trying to help you. You're crying the mother ass out, and here you are.
Thank you.
Now it's not even sad tears. Now it's just
Laughing at
yes.
yourself.
Okay, go.
Right. So I was trying to say that you have become the mother. I don't think that you even realize that you have become, but it is exactly who you need to be. When I see you and I see your son, what I am seeing is him growing into a person that you've always wanted him to be. And I see you pouring into him in the ways that you wish you had been poured into. And so doing that, I'm seeing your son be still his shady core to him, to who you are, self, but also being loving, being kind, being thoughtful, being, he may be selfish in his moments, but at the same time, I also seeing him listening. I see him watching. I see him observing. He is becoming exactly who you have desired him to be. You've prayed for this son. You've asked God for your child, and he is reflecting back exactly what you're asking. And I'm seeing that the son you've always sought and always desired to have is becoming exactly who you want him to be. So I know you earlier had mentioned that you're not sure how you feel about parenting. I want to encourage you in this moment that you are doing exactly what you need to do with him. He's getting everything he needs from you. And if you guys are growing together, then that's exactly where you need to be. So I want to affirm for you that as a mother, that you're doing exactly what you need to be. There is no rule book. There is no check marks of saying that you're going to do this better or worse than anybody else. It's a right mix because he's your son. Mm-hmm. It's exactly where you're exactly where you need to be for yourself, for your career, and just who you are outside of being a mom. I want to affirm for you that I've watched you this year grow as not only an individual, but also being able to strengthen yourself and your character, and just knowing that you're going to be all right. Right. Like you said earlier on that it was a hard year, but I remember we've gone through this year and I've never watched someone so poised throughout the things that I know you have struggled with. And so I want to say to you, even if you don't feel like you are that strong, you have us first, but you are strong. You have been a very strong, not only strong individual, but you've been one who's been okay with being not okay. And that takes strength in itself. Mm-hmm. So I just want to pour into you that though difficult, though hard, this is a lesson that will allow you to be exactly who you've always maybe sought to be, but maybe didn't get the space to do that because life may have been a different way. And now you're moving in a way that I think life is allowing you to see that though difficult, though hard, you are strong enough to move in the ways in which you've always wanted to move. Yeah. And then you just been given an opportunity, and it may not be pretty, but it's exactly what you need to be encouraged that things are going to be all right. That if you're able to just take another step every day, you're going to be able to be exactly where you want to be. And it may not look like everybody else's looks, but it's going to be exactly what you need. So I affirm that for you.
Thank you. Mm-hmm. Okay, we don't have to do it anymore.
That's only the first one. I was only the one. Good. Tiff, you next?
I can be. Did you want to go next?
Who? Oh yeah, go ahead. I'm just passing these out.
I said, did you want to go next?
Oh, okay. Yeah, I can. So earlier,
are you gonna need it?
Yeah, I am.
All right. I saw you gave multiple.
Yeah.
Okay. Thanks, Match P.
Appreciate you.
And so earlier, Carol, you mentioned that for next year you see you see a little bit of light at the end of the tunnel. I affirm for you that your light will get brighter because it's within you. Yeah. I mean, we have the light, and because it's already in us, I think that you will find that your light will get so much brighter in every aspect of your life, and whatever that looks like. And while might not be the most comfortable ride, but knowing that you have other sources of light around you to help make yours just that much brighter.
Man.
Yeah.
I love that. Am I gonna cry saying it to you? No, because that's annoying. Okay.
Don't think it's about you.
That's how I feel. Other people are like, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Why are you crying? Okay. I want to affirm for you. I know that you feel like you have been killing it at work, and that is the place where you've been shining the most this year. But I have really seen you put everything aside and be amazing in every facet, even the ones that you don't think count right now.
Yeah.
And I think that in the ways that you have been, I'm doing it. Sorry. It's just going to happen.
We gotta get through, y'all.
Enduring the hardships that you have this year and still being able to put being a mother first, putting Trey first, continuing to make sure that he is good and that you're good. And to Saya's point, like handling it with the poise that you've handled it with. I really affirm for you joy next year. I really affirm for you that the things that took place this year will be the bottom, and that from here it's only going up. And I think that in terms of the way that you think that work has been the shining star, I just like see so much joy for you next year. And I really like know that it's hard to see that, but I really sincerely think that the work that you've put into yourself this year, the reflection that you've put in, the efforts that you've put in making things better and in growing and continuing to try to lead with love and forgiveness and patience will really show up in ways that you can't see yet. And that's what I'm claiming for you into 2023.
Well, thank you. I appreciate you guys. And
I made it. I didn't cry.
I regret suggesting we do this.
I'm so glad you went first.
But you guys are great. I love you. But not seriously, you guys have been like a lifesaver. Shit, for you.
We love you.
Okay,
Thankful for
someone
you
else
too.
talk. I don't know. Someone make a joke. Someone say something inappropriate.
I feel like we joked the whole way through that.
You did. Who's up next? Who's on
man.
In the hot seat.
We just go for
Yeah.
Nicole since it's like
Yeah,
back
do
to
it.
back.
Oh, okay.
That's the reaction I expected.
Yeah. All right. So who's going first for Nicole?
I don't know. You're a tough act to follow. You go last.
Okay.
Girl, are you together enough yet?
No.
Tighten up. Do we need to take a break?
No, I don't even know if my eyelashes are still on. Go
They
ahead.
They are.
Okay, thank you.
Not you crying your eyelash. Okay. Nicole, I'm claiming stability and joy for you next year too. I feel like it really hit me that you said that you just learned this year that you're capable, because you are the most capable person I know. Like the shit that you do every day just like really blows my mind. The way that you show up for people, the way that you love on people, the way that you overextend yourself in like so many ways. It really like boggles me the way that you're able to do all that you do. And
Oh my God, this is so off-brand. Jesus Christ.
I'm trying my best to embrace when the tears come, just kind of let them go.
Ghetto.
It's your idea. Leave it to a ghetto person.
the
That's
listeners are gonna be like,
ghetto
"Oh, turn
ass
this shit
idea.
off." I would. It's okay. I would leave too. I get it.
If y'all want to stay around for that's fine.
think
It's
this is
fine.
You already have your stream in your view.
Just don't forget to like, share, subscribe.
Leave a comment.
Comment below.
Tell us you hated this part and we should never do it again.
No, they're gonna say you bitches are weird.
Awful.
Okay, but I really am just claiming like personal growth and stability for you. Like I really want you to pour into yourself this next year the way that you pour into everybody else, because I think that you owe that to yourself, and I think that you more than deserve it, and that's the way that I want to see you love on you in 2023. You're welcome.
Yeah. I echo what Tiff says. I'm so proud of you.
Cheap.
Nicole, not Tiffany. Nicole, I'm so proud of you and who you are. I think this year started off a little rocky for you as well, but I don't even think I remember, just because you've been thriving so much ever since, in every facet of your life, and how much I think in the past, I've known you. I can't remember not knowing you.
Right.
And so I've known you in so many different phases of your life. And like you said, you've put so much into other people. And this year I've just seen you put yourself first. And it's such a beautiful thing to see. I love watching you put you first. And I'm just so proud of you. I think all the things that have happened, like have culminated, to me, it kind of feels like it culminated into this moment and into this year for you. And I'm just, I believe in duality. And while it was rough at first for me and you, I feel like watching you thrive and get out of a darker space and seeing you do so well has brought me so much joy. And so I'm just excited. Like, I just don't see, like, I just feel up for you. Like, I just, like, in your personal life, in your professional life, everything going on. Like, I'm just so excited for the acceleration and what's happening next in your life. And I'm just so thankful I get to be, I hope you let me be a part of it. Because I just love watching you thrive.
Oh, all right. So me.
Oh, God.
God, Lee, I ain't even got nothing out yet.
I'm just going to hold my tissue a different way.
Jesus. All right.
Ready.
So
We're the worst.
hey, didn't even get a word out. What I wanted to say, Nicole, is I believe that what we saw this year is only a preview of what is to come. I say that because I want to affirm for you that not only the struggle was kind of that base as a launching point, but I also think for you, you have spent years, we've all watched you for years, doing and pouring into a lot of people, setting a foundation, and you now have this opportunity to be able to thrive in ways that only you know are you're fully capable of. But we all know that it's going to, blow our minds at this point. I think you've said earlier that you, in a matter of words, that you didn't even know that you deserve. And I'm going to say this right now. You deserve. You fully deserve. Beyond what we are currently seeing, you deserve. And so what I want to affirm for you this coming year is to reach up and grab it. I want to affirm for you that it is there. It's waiting for you to just pluck it. That there's nobody else that needs to be a part of it. There's nobody else that needs to have a say in anything. You saw what happened this year. You know what happened this year because you've put the work forth. You had to put your boundaries up. You had to put some naysayers to the side. You had to make some choices for yourself. But what happened with those choices was we got a preview of what is possible. And what is possible, first of all, the Lord has been blessing you mightily, even beyond these tangible things. But I think what we've also seen is that your self-esteem has risen because you've been able to take a piece out and say, this is for me. And I want you to affirm for you that the whole world is for you. Just go out there and get it. Cause there's more to be seen. There's more to be done. And I think that you need to know for yourself that you deserve it and that all you have to do is go out there, seek it, and go and get it, and it's gonna be there.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I appreciate you.
Y'all hear how Saya's voice escalated? Like the sermon was like into the good part.
Yeah, it did.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
She about to start sweating.
This is my third point. I heard it.
Collection plate will be going on afterwards, okay?
Right. I'll send you my Venmo so I can collect it.
All right, who's in the hot seat next?
You were
I feel like it's you.
Oh, we're ending with you. Okay.
I don't care.
Nope. We said Saya.
All right.
Okay. Who wants to go first?
I'm going to take it.
Felt weird.
It did. After I said it, I was like, I shouldn't have.
All right. Should have been take it.
Yeah.
Okay.
That was why I was trying to avoid.
Okay. I'll go first. This is feeling weird.
Yes, it is. Please.
Saya, I feel like you have always just been the I feel like I know you said you didn't feel stable, but I feel like emotionally you've always just felt stable to everyone else in your life. And I'm just so excited to see that you are experiencing what everyone else has already been experiencing from you, and that your cup is feeling more full. You have a light and a joy and a spark about you that I know for a little bit probably felt a little dim. And even being your friend, I think we could see it just dimming a little bit. But this year, your light has just shone so much. And so I'm so excited for you to experience and feel joy and love and all these things, even in the midst of a big loss. You've still been able to just be fun and loving and joyous. And I'm expecting just the same thing, just more of that, more love, more joy, more stability, more money, more in your business. And you really just honing into that, because I know that's something in you that really is a part of your heart and who you are in your core. So I'm excited for you. I see big things coming for you in your future. And I want you, everything that you've been pouring into other people, I just expect it just to come back to you tenfold next year.
10-fold, 20-fold.
30, 40, 50.
Saya, you never let your circumstance dictate who you are or how you treat other people. And I think that is a superpower that is not talked about enough. It is a very admirable trait, and it is very admirable to watch you lead with who you know yourself to be every day in every way that you know how. I look up to you and admire you greatly for that reason alone. I think I'm like really happy to hear that you are feeling stable this year and that you are feeling like you have breathing room and space to be more of who you are. And I really am affirming for you that you get to breathe life into the things that I know that you've been dreaming about for a very long time this year. I'm really excited to watch you bring those things to reality. I'm excited to see them grow, excited for you to create businesses that extend who you are more out into the world, because we need that. And I just am really proud of you as a friend. I'm really proud of the way that you lead and show yourself to be, and the way that you always like ask for feedback and are always like ready to hear like how people are reading you and adjust if it's making other people feel in the way that you know that is not your intention. Like, I just love the way that you live your life, and I'm excited to watch you receive that back in 2023 in all the ways that are so meaningful to you.
Oh, thank you.
Nice, Aya.
Hi.
I actually said my, not hi, but whatever.
Oh, okay, my bad.
Just to clarify, you're a trendsetter. I'm not gonna cry.
She said cryingly.
Right. I'm not gonna cry. Sorry. You are a trendsetter. Earlier you mentioned that when a lot of people take one way, you go another. It's because you stop laughing.
If you hadn't said you weren't gonna cry, it wouldn't be funny. I'm sorry.
I'm trying. Okay, I'm trying not to cry.
What is wrong with you?
But it is. Because Saya, like, I think it's not a secret that Saya is such a joy and a presence. You're so attentive and so your intuition, man, is ridiculous. And I feel like you see parts of people that they don't see in themselves. And my hope for you is that everybody else sees all those little parts of you that maybe you may not necessarily share, because there's still so much in you. You give so much of yourself to other people. And my hope is that you, like that you get that back 100-fold. That just continue to be the joyous person that you are, because I know I mentioned the light, but you bring such, like, it's like a beam when you come into a room of joy and happiness, that even when people are in the worst of moods, that you have a very unique way of bringing them out of that, especially me. So thank you, first and foremost, for just being who you are. And I know we fuss and we bicker.
Like sisters.
Like the sisters we are, but just thank you for being that person, because even in the most darkest of times, you have the most wonderful capability to bring anybody out of that. So thank you. I hope that you continue to do that. And I know that the next year has nothing but those wonderful lightful moments that you're going to get to experience. And I hope that us, as well as everybody connected to you, has that capability to pour back into you in that way as well. So thank you.
Oh, thank you. Thank y'all. All right, Tiffany.
Trying to help.
Okay.
All right. And last but not least.
Yes.
It just got really hot in here.
You sweating too? Yeah. The hot seat is hot.
All this love. So weird.
Who's gonna go first?
Are you sweating for real?
No, the tear went down. The tear went down.
Wow.
Girl, just remember this.
About to be like,
I know. I instantly regretted it, but it also, I love this too at the same time. Okay, who wants to go first for Tiff?
Want me to go first? I can go first.
Go ahead.
All right. So for not
trying
this
to decide
low.
if I need to grab my drink or not. That's right.
Tiff, what we have seen in 2022 is, let me just first say, nothing short of amazing. I've watched you take everything that has come to you and you said, you know what? High or hell or water, I'm gonna do whatever I need to do. And you've made and managed to make that work. So what I'm going to affirm for you in this next year, that you have this ability to have some peace in knowing that who you are and where you are is exactly where you need to be. You've talked earlier about there being some things that you wanted to work on, or communications, or being able to show up for people. And I think that what you don't realize is that you do show up in ways that all of us appreciate, in ways that we love seeing, we love being a part of, if that even makes sense, right? Like you say that you want to make sure that you're spending the time. You are spending the time. Just having you and your presence around us is a light that we all appreciate having around. And for you, I want to affirm that you have peace in knowing that where you're at is exactly where you need to be. I think that, you said you worry about the house, you worry about these other things. That's all a part of life. So what I wanted you to affirm for you for this upcoming year is that you have peace in that, right? Like, you've done a lot, and I know you will continue to do more in this upcoming year. Don't ever stop. I'm just going to affirm that for you. Mm-hmm. Every milestone you blast away, I'm always like, look at that girl. Lord have mercy. All right, do it. Go ahead and do it for somebody else. If we can't do it, you do it, girl. But I want you to have peace in knowing that whatever it is, if you want to keep climbing mountains, whatever those mountains look like for you, those are exactly where you're supposed to be. And the people around you that you bring in, that you spend time with, are glad to watch you excel in these things. And if it means that we aren't there for everything, but we just get a glimpse of it whenever it is, that's what we appreciate having. Like, it's not so much that we have to have you every time at all times, or you be there every time, but watching you do the things that the rest of us may not be able to do is what we really like to see. What we really enjoy. So I hope you find peace in knowing that you excelling in the things that bring you joy are the things that also bring us joy. So keep doing it, because I already know, but there's going to be like 5 other things we're going to be talking about in the year review for next year for you. Then we're just like, girl, like, shoot, she done done like X, Y, and Z, but we're just happy to be a part of that. And I want you to find peace in knowing that your friends are cheering you on and want to see you excel. And however that looks, whatever that looks like, we're there. We're there. Whether or not we're physically there, we're there. And I want you to have peace and joy and understanding that we love seeing you shine, girl, and we want to see the best come, and we know it will come.
Yeah. I'll piggyback off what Zaya said.
Sorry, I just almost hit the Kim Kardashian ugly cry. Okay.
Do you need a minute to get do a cute one? Or?
Do a cute one?
Does it exist?
All right. Please let me know.
Okay.
Sometimes I used to cry in the mirror so I could be prepared. For, like it happened.
You sound like a sociopath. Are you okay?
Yeah, I just want to see what I look like. Like you look dumb. Stop it. Get it together.
I'm gonna need at
Carol?
the end of this for us to see what a cute cry looks like versus an ugly.
I don't think I mastered it.
Okay.
That's why I'm like, get it together. Get it together.
Were you fake crying in the mirror?
No, I was really crying. And then I'll be like, you look dumb. Stop. Like, get. Okay. Anyways, I was going to say for Tiff, even though you're the youngest of the group, I feel like, I know for me personally, I look up to you a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Go ahead, say I'm not gonna cry. So you cry.
Yeah, just go ahead and let it go. Let it go.
No, because I think Tiff is another person that I've spent a lot of my life with. And I'm so excited for you. I'm so happy for you. I spent a lot of time being like, dang, like what would Tiffany do in this moment? For a lot of things, because I look up to you a lot. You're just such an amazing person. I know you don't always see yourself excelling and doing well, but you're just so good at a lot of stuff. I'm just really proud of you and I love you so much. And you just had a phenomenal year. And I'm just, like I said, I'm excited to witness it. And I just can't wait to see what happens next for you. Because you're just, I hope that you just understand how amazing you are. And you just hold on to that.
Yes.
Because you really are. And I'm just so thankful to be your friend. Okay.
Jesus.
No more.
Oh, jeez. If I could get this knot out of my throat.
Be
Like,
great.
Do you want
okay.
a drink will help?
No, it won't, because then I'm going to gulp in the mic and then,
There's that.
you know. Oh, okay. Tiff, as Carol mentioned, I don't think there's ever been a thing that I don't think that you're not capable of doing. You are a manifester. Like everything that you say that I'm going to do, it's always in the most nonchalant of ways, but you execute in such a big way. My friend is a whole like designer.
Come on now.
And like level of creativity that you possess is like, it blows my mind every single time. But I know it's because you're such a unique individual that there's absolutely nobody else in the world like you.
Come on, say it.
A snowflake doesn't even compare to how unique you are, how beautiful you are, how smart you are, how loving you are. And I think like everybody else has said, I'm so excited that I get to be your friend. I'm so excited that I get to be a part of your journey. Or at least I hope you let me keep being a part of it.
You're all right. You all right for now. You safe.
Questionable in a couple of years.
Right.
But let's see.
But I'm grateful to know you. I'm grateful to be in your presence because in a lot of times, like I look to y'all to, like subconsciously, y'all don't even know that y'all are helping me through tough moments. And especially for you, Tiff, it's like you give me that little boost of energy. Like, well, why not be able to do it? Like, because you're that type of person. It's like, I didn't like how this bathing suit looked on me. So I created a whole line, several lines and several different things. And you also make that happen for other people. And you hear them, in our moments where we get to talk, collectively and even by ourselves, the way you're able to listen and be present for people is unmatched. And I thank you for that. And I just hope that even in the next year, that you continue to be your great self, that God blesses you immensely, even more than what he already has, and that you keep being your very unique self because it is so needed. For me, I'm going to be selfish and say it's needed for me It's needed for us. It's needed for the people who are connected to you. And I thank you for that. So keep being great.
Yeah.
Thank y'all.
Oh, this is nice. Do we do Master P next?
Oh God.
You want some of this? Want to grab a paper towel and sit down?
Master P, I affirm for you that this will be easier next year and you won't have to deal with as much editing. I'm sorry.
Oh my God.
No, but do we want to? I was joking, but we can.
We can.
Yeah. Go for it.
You know what? Yeah,
Okay.
you're a part
You
of the team,
start.
Master P. We'll let you know, guys, if he's crying behind the scenes.
Yeah.
He's sitting next to the paper towels.
Right.
Okay, I'll start.
Yeah.
Okay, Master P. I personally would like to thank you. Thank you so much for being the person you are. I know that sometimes we look to you to be a very strong individual and a lot of times an example for what a man looks like and what a man can be. And I know that can be a lot of weight. But I thank you for just being that great example, for being our producer, for being our friend. Because what people don't know is that Patrick is like the 5th person in the group chat. So
Quite literally.
actually very literally. And that he listens.
Because you're not in there.
Patrick, we're present with you.
When Patrick texts, I respond.
That's a fact. That is actual fact.
Disrespect.
So I appreciate you for even being one of the greatest brothers that I have, and for always listening to our bullshit, and for cutting out the stuff that we don't want. Because it's a lot of that.
Nicole had been canceled a long time ago.
So I appreciate you for censoring me when needed. So thank you, brother. I appreciate you.
Are you gonna do your husband last?
Yeah.
Okay.
That makes sense.
I'll say, Patrick, I appreciate you stepping in when you didn't have to. I know you probably just didn't want us to embarrass you as Tiffany's husband, so I know that's probably a big reason why you stepped in.
Fair. Solid assessment.
But you do a lot for us that you don't have to do. I know you have a lot going on, so I just really appreciate your time commitment. To us, you could have just been our best friend's husband, and you have really integrated yourself into our lives. You're a part of our family. We appreciate you. You and Tiff have elevated in a way that I don't think that we didn't see coming. It just, the glow up just with the both of you is just so amazing to watch. I love watching you guys as individuals, but also as a team. So thank you for loving our friend.
Yeah.
Thank you for just being who you are as an individual. I just didn't see you coming in a lot of different ways, but you have just been such an amazing addition to our friendship. And, like I said, you could have just been an outsider, and you really integrated yourself in as a real family member. So thank you for that. And I really appreciate you.
Oh, this is so sweet. All right, Master P, not Percy, King. I want to say, first of all, we saw you coming. She might not have, but we saw you coming. And you know what?
When you did come.
Yeah, when you did come. We saw you coming.
That's just my coworker, y'all. Shut up.
Yeah, that's what we're talking about. But what I will say is let me start off where everybody else is. It's been a joy to not only see you love on our friend the way that you love on our friend, but also to get to know you as a person. I think that I'll speak for myself when I say that I think that you have elevated me into seeing how to really love on somebody that you really care about, right? And I've watched you do that with our friend, and that's been such a great example to have when, let's just keep it a buck. When we're out here, we see people not loving on people the way they should. So I've appreciated watching that. What I will affirm for you for this upcoming year is, one, that we won't be haggling you nearly as much as we have been. Let's just affirm that right now, okay?
No promises, but
But no, what I really do want to affirm for you for this upcoming year is that you find the joy in whatever it is that you're seeking to do. I know you've been working on a lot of things, your own private stuff, working even professionally, but I hope that you find some joy in the things, outside of us. Like I know we do a lot of things, and I know you love lifting up your wife and the things that she does, but I want to affirm for you that I know that there's some things that you're maybe putting on the back burner, and I want to affirm for you, pull them out, because I think it's time. If you're doing all of this for us, then there are gems that for yourself are going to outshine what we're doing here. So I want to affirm for you, do it, brother. Like whatever it is, because if she's already moving on, then I know y'all, like we said, y'all are a couple that we just love watching move in ways that maybe we haven't had a chance to move yet. So lead us, show us what's possible. Because right now y'all have been knocking it out of the park, and killing it. And I can't wait to see what happens next for you. But I know there's some things out there that can bring that full joy for you that we, this little podcast may not do them, brother. Because I think that they're going to take off beyond your wildest dreams.
Amen.
Amen. Oh, this is going to be cute.
So awkward. It's like my Dallas 2.0.
Yeah, it is.
I just forgot everything that I had planned to say. I am so thankful that I get to do life with you. I think the biggest thing is that like in growing in our partnership and getting to decide what our marriage looks like and what our personal growth looks like as we get in the trenches in our marriage, like being able to do all of these things with you is just so meaningful to me. And I'm so grateful for that I get to do it with someone who is so willing to go there with me, that is willing to help me grow, that is willing to help me be better in the most loving of ways. I think outside of that, I love the way that you pour into other people and you help make other people's dreams become realized. And that was like one of the first things that like outside of you being a coworker that would like really like blew my mind about you. Like that is a very unique thing that I don't see in a lot of ways. There's a lot of people that are willing to give words of support and they want to see you shine, but you are really willing to be in the trenches with people and do the work to help them realize their dreams. And that is a mind-blowing thing to me. But what I affirm for you in this next year is that all the seeds that you've sown are going to come to fruition. I know that there are places that you're feeling stagnant and like they're not producing the things that you see for yourself. And I just think that this next year is you're going to see them shine and you're going to have your moments where you get to be fully yourself and fully realize all the things that I know are coming for you.
That's so sweet. I love it.
All right.
I'm sick of myself.
Yeah, me too. Like this is
heard enough of me.
Yeah, this has been enough emotions and crying.
That's about it.
Yeah, this has been nice, guys.
If you made it to this point as a listener, I am impressed.
Yeah.
Very.
Thank you for sticking it out with us.
I affirm that you keep listening.
I affirm that you comment and subscribe.
And like
On
share.
every post.
Yes.
YouTube, Google Play, Apple,
Spotify.
Yeah.
iTunes,
Everywhere
Spotify.
podcast can be heard.
Yes.
All the things.
YouTube.
Tell your friends about us.
Instagram.
Please.
Yes. And thank you for 2 seasons.
Yeah.
Thank you for sticking out for us for 2 seasons.
Wow. I hope you guys are excited for what we have coming up next because I know we are.
Yeah. We're going to take a break so we can collect ourselves for a month or 2.
Yeah.
All this crying is just exhausting.
Yes,
you know?
it is. It
We need
is.
to take a break.
But we'll see y'all in spring of 2023,
Yes.
right?
It's gonna be
for sure
lit.
by spring. For sure by spring.
Okay.
And be
gonna
ready
be lit.
to look out for some
I
new
don't know,
stuff,
February's
y'all.
still
We're
winter.
definitely bring.
Okay.
We're definitely gonna bring you guys some new stuff. So look out for that. But in the meantime, we'll keep you, posted on what's coming up next and share some clips of what has happened next year. But when we come back 2023, we will definitely be coming with some new stuff. So be ready.
Yeah.
All right.
right.
Until then.
Bye.
We'll see y'all later.
Peace.
Bye.